Turono Talks Podcast. You know what it is. It's your man, Seggy Tit Lovin'. I'm not Mick Lovin', just Seggy Tit Lovin'. We got some other friends here today. Dustin Wareham couldn't make it, so we got the homies. Let everyone introduce themselves.
Yo, what's up? You got Specs One holding down 80s favorite babies all day.
Hey.
And I am the Shot Club's CheZZa. I am here with Turono Talks.
Toronto.
I said
Toronto,
like
yeah. You said it super touristy. It's the Sudbury in you coming out. Holy shit.
Yeah, Mike Stoan, you already know. Yeah, we'll get into this.
Yo, did you prepare 5 questions for us this week?
Nah, man. Fuck all of that shit.
Chris had an awesome idea. He's like,
Yeah,
I think in every episode you should do a section called Mike Stone Wants to Know. And it's just Mike asking 5 questions without anyone elaborating or answering on them.
The thing is, I don't really want to know. I just put it out there. If people respond, that's on them.
True.
It's like his Facebook already,
that's his
right?
Facebook's personal right there.
He could just go back and scroll 2 days and be like, all right, this is my 5 questions.
Pretty much. The top questions of the week.
All right. But yeah, we're here. We're chilling. You know what I'm saying? We're recording there. I'm not live yet. Uh-oh. I always do this once we start. I'm the worst for that. Yo, what's hotter? Shake your tail feather or where the party at?
Where the party at? I wasn't a fan of Shake Your Tail Feather. That was just too corny.
Yeah.
I feel like Nelly played out the uh-oh about as much as he could. There was EI, there was Shake Your Tail Feather.
No, that was
what's the
his
chronological order?
That's when you knew he
But
was
the uh-oh,
that's what he
like,
did.
those are the 3 songs that they made.
What about Tip Drill?
That's
video-
probably too far
the
after.
video was proper.
Could we agree that Grills is one of the wackest rap songs of all time?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
I'm trying to remember it.
you know what? I think the
Hit
fact
the
that we
jewelry
can't
store
remember
and tell
it,
him make
speaks
me a grill.
volumes.
It's like a Ciara song, but
Well,
Nelly
just the fact
half
that we
sing
don't
rapping on
remember
it. And
The fact we don't
It's
remember
not.
it.
Paul Wall.
Speaks enough.
I just want to like one day be able to roll similar to an ant and be low to the earth.
Just get low.
Just like, yo, Paul Wall was a poet for that.
You ever see Paul Wall record?
No, but
I watched
we're
a
about
video
to
of
start
Paul Wall,
clouding
really?
Paul Wall, and I feel
Wow.
like we need to
Listen,
get off this topic
came in-
quick.
he
This
came
is
in-
gonna get bad.
Regular, like looking bored.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get
And he
that
got in
Paul
the
Wall
booth.
interview.
And he still looked bored. But his flow was like, he had energy. He was like, this Paul Wall, baby. But he wasn't moving nothing.
Nothing.
It was really weird. I was like, you are so automatic the way
That's-
you rap that you don't even have to get into it anymore.
That's crazy. Well, you know what? It's finesse.
You know what I was listening to on the way over here, which is like the same era, but at least doper than. Yo, I'm trying to get that Paul Wall interview. No disrespect, Playboy. You know what I'm saying? We love you.
Right.
Game over, little flip.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
Now
I was
who
listening
they
to that
want?
a couple months ago.
Flip.
I found my CD case. The big CD
I'm
case.
connected
I've been
like
killing it.
Dub and Mac 10, Ice Cubes in the watch Dubs on the black bands, but you don't hear me.
If it wasn't for T.I., he
Yo,
might have still had a career.
isn't it crazy how different Southern hip hop was then, though?
Yeah.
Like that
Oh,
beat's like a boom bap beat, pretty close, pretty damn near close to a boom
But
bap
they were
beat.
still influenced by New York.
Yeah,
They were
man.
still influenced. That's why they might not have been lyricists, but down south, they were lyricists.
Yeah, well, Flip was like the freestyle champ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flip actually wasn't bad though.
No.
Like he was kind of dope. Like especially with artists from that time. Like I was putting him up against him. Like I was like, yo, Flip's better than this guy and this guy and this guy. And
It was good until
Yeah.
T.I. drug him on camera. When people saw T.I. drag him, it was it.
but you
Flip was
know
done.
what? Even though, so what do you guys think about who brought in trap music?
Nah.
The name or just the music?
Or like just the whole the feel.
It all comes as one, yo. At the end of the day, so like that's the thing.
So you
Can,
just sort of
can
named it.
Ti just claim it because of the album, or can someone else just claim it because
If
of a
it's-
sound? Like
if it's
where?
just hustler music, because if that's it, then
If that's it, then yeah.
the
you
South can't even claim that.
Nah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess when you put the term
Yeah.
hustler music on it, it makes it the same as everything else,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, we all know what it came to be, what
Yeah.
the sound of trap is
Yeah.
now, right?
Yeah.
But like, there's different avenues from it, right? Like my personal opinion, UGK brought in some of that stuff.
Okay.
You
They
know,
just didn't
like
call it trap music.
no,
just-
Project
yeah,
Pat
exactly.
and them
Yeah.
had some of that sound.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think one person who gets overlooked huge for the sound that trap became that never gets his props is fucking Manny Fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had the
Yeah.
rolling fucking snares and
Yeah.
fast beats with fast hi-hats
Yeah.
going. And another, I don't know, I'm not actually sure. I'm not that well, because I listened to these guys when I was young, so I wasn't even looking for producers. But I don't know who was like the in-house producers over at No Limit, but
Mhm.
they
Beats
were
by
a
the
big,
pound. Oh, 100%.
Beats by the Pound?
Beats by the pound.
Okay, they were a big motivator of that
Yeah.
sound too.
Yeah,
Like
they
it was a
pushed
lot like, "What do you? It's the sound of the kid." Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
all that early South shit had
Yeah.
that bounce to it.
Well,
Like,
you know what? It was funny because it was almost overproduced music. You know what I mean? You think about it. There's so much
So much going
in
on.
these beats. It's crazy.
yeah.
But
Like,
it wasn't
I-
just the music. Their covers,
no.
like
The
everything
covers
they
were
pushed
so
out
whack.
was
Like,
so,
can we leave that shit in the '90s and never bring that back, please? Unless it's like Sean Price making a mockery of it. You know what I'm saying?
And we
Like,
know
can
that
we
won't happen.
never bring that shit back? Those covers.
actually next mixtape.
Yo, you know what? I should just do it in vain now. You know what I'm saying? That shit, yeah. Let's never bring that back, please, hip hop. I don't. Do album covers matter anymore?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Because this Eminem cover for Kamikaze went big. Like,
But
just
is it
the fact
because of the
that-
cover or
a
because it was an
rip-off.
Eminem album?
It's a ripoff of.
I call
the
that a
Beast It is,
homage,
it is.
man.
Well, yeah, okay.
It's obvious.
Rip off, whatever it is.
Whatever you want to call it.
I think
People
it's a,
took notice of it as a cover.
but
So
The new
covers still
generation
matter.
won't know nothing. But
if it was
Beastie Boys
Eminem
anyway.
sitting with half his face blacked out in like black and white,
They would have questioned that too. They're saying, "Why is the cover like this?" If you drop your
no
cover
matter
before
what
your album
Eminem does.
as
Yeah.
like an Eminem or Jay-Z, you drop that album cover first. People are gonna try to dissect it to see what you mean by your cover.
Yeah.
Does Eminem have more dissectable album covers than Jay-Z?
Probably. A lot of Jay-Z albums
Jay-Z
are
albums
boring.
are simple.
Yeah, it's just him.
Generally,
Yeah,
very
it's
simple
like
album
in a suit
covers.
smoking a stogie or something.
There's
right?
no
Like,
story to it.
No.
Oh, there's stories
Well,
to it. It's like
Just the covers, not really.
look at
The Black Album's really like the most
Volume
themed
2.
one.
Volume 2 was on that cusp of Hood and Pop,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the Annie album. So that was like his crossover. So the cover showed that he was crossing over.
It's true.
Can we agree that Volume 2 is one of Jay-Z's worst albums?
Yes.
Thank God, my man.
One of the worst.
People
yeah.
bring that shit up like it's hot, and I'm like,
at
that
the
shit is
time-
like very close to hot trash.
At the time, it was hot as shit, man.
The Bleak intro's Hard Knock Life is, it's the joint. It is what it is.
Okay.
The fucking DMX joint's
Yeah, man.
The-
Can I Get is
I can barely remember.
Did he do the song with the locks?
I like it.
Did he have a song with locks?
Maybe.
think so.
Reservoir Dogs.
No, it wasn't Reservoir Dogs.
That was
but-
on the soundtrack.
That was DMX.
That was on the thing
Oh.
soundtrack.
There's a joint with the locks on there. Once again, I think it's I think there is. There's one with like Jazzo and Sauce or something. It's
What, Money Cash Hoes? Yeah.
No,
yeah,
Money
he said
Cash Hoes with DMX is dope.
Yeah. yeah.
What album?
Which one was with
We're
Jazz?
talking Volume 2.
Volume 2. I thought you meant a Blueprint 2.
No.
Change that.
Oh, word. It's like that. With,
Yeah.
produced by Kid Capri is fire.
It was good for what it was.
A lot of that album's
Yeah.
super mediocre.
Is
Even
that-
the joint with Q, Too Short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
very
you're right.
mediocre album.
Hard Knock Life.
I think
Die Tonight.
the Blueprint 2 gets hated on. That's a better album than fucking Volume 2.
You need bombs. You need a bomb. Yeah.
Hold on. Volume 2 had a week ago.
Say it like you mean it.
The fucking bomb.
Yeah, with
Volume
Too
2 had a
Short.
week ago. You didn't
It's
like that
alright.
one?
A week ago was cool.
It's alright.
What? Then, Coming of Age. Can I get a Paper
That's
Coming
Chase?
of Age is pretty
Lucky
dope.
Me's on there too, right? Or no?
I don't know. It's like
No, Lucky
that.
Me's not this
It's
one.
like
Yeah.
that with
It's like that.
That's
And
like
yeah, Reservoir Dogs. You're right.
yeah. It's
That
like
was-
that is one of Jay-Z's best songs. But like one hot song album, that's a not good average. You so lame. No, I'm just playing. Hope's one of my favorites. I'm trying to get that Jay-Z interview and that title sponsorship. Shout outs Playboy. every time we hit on a rapper on this show, we give him props right after.
You're covering
You
your ground.
apologize
Covering
right
your
after.
ground.
I got no
exactly.
hatred.
You're gonna end up like fucking Button.
Oh,
Right.
man. Oh,
Right.
man.
But
Crazy.
there were other questions that actually this whole conversation sparked in my head, but like once you start conversing, it's hard to get on them. So let's talk about something else.
So what's the main topic of the week?
Yeah.
There's never a main topic. We just get into it. Well, I'm super pissed that they decided to close the sex doll brothel. Let's be real here.
Yes,
Yo,
I
it was-
remember you saying about this last week.
Yeah, I'm a little upset.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm
can't do
upset.
The expose on what's going on in the background.
Yeah, it was over before it started.
Yeah.
All right, yo, let me get on live real quick. I'm slacking on the people right now. You guys can just like converse about anything that you want. You don't have to talk sex dolls. 'Cause I feel like I would like some input
Well, I
here.
don't know what you were missing out on. Like, I don't know.
Fucking sex dolls.
Yeah.
Well, on IG we went live last week, and not even me, Dustin suggested it, and I obliged. But he wanted to see. This got to be on live,
You were just gonna go in and
They were gonna start a GoFundMe to acquire the cost of renting 2 dolls, and then I was gonna go in on my 60-minute shit and doing a full-out investigation and have sex with 2 dolls.
for scientific purposes.
Yeah, for scientific
Okay,
purposes.
yeah.
So like,
would you have told your girl though? Like that
she would have to be a crucial part of this happening.
Okay.
I said it in public. I mean,
exactly.
this ain't blunt.
But you
Anyone
know,
can listen to this.
You know.
My parents even. That's kind of weird. Hi, Mom.
Hey, in the name of science,
In the name of everything's right in the name of science. Same reason they can pay people to fucking inject them with whatever fucking next groundbreaking virus disease they're doing to see what it does to them.
That's true.
Yo,
Yeah,
that's
we'll
how
give you a
zombies
cookie
start.
and $25. Oh, sign me up. Hey, yo, we live finally. Yo, Turono Talks, episode 5. We got special guests with us. My vagina. And my we got the homie Mike Stoan, in the place to be. As always, people listening right now or watching this video are gonna be like, what the fuck is happening? But yo, fuck you, because live is where we at. Yo, CheZZa, Iceberg Society. Welcome to the Shot Club podcast. And we got the homie, Specs One, 80s favorite babies.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Yeah.
We got a ton of motherfuckers in here right now about to talk some nonsense and get you guys hopefully pissed off, or
Who knows?
never mind. I'm just gonna say some pause-worthy shit. We'll just keep moving it forward. So yo, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Who's the elephant in the room?
Yeah.
What is the elephant in the room?
We know who it is. Eminem.
Ah.
Yeah, the white guy, exactly. Hi.
My name is.
Yeah. Right.
Hi, kids.
Well, drop that surprise album.
What do we think about the album?
It's cool. I like it.
I like the album.
Yeah.
It's,
I think I like it. I gave it a couple listens, and I don't know. I don't take Eminem in like I used to.
I'm the same.
I have a different perspective from I guess earlier on in his career or my musical listening career. You know what I mean? Like career or whatever. But when he first came out, it was appealing to a different man. Like I was a 16-year-old kid. You know what I mean? Like taking it in as a 16-year-old kid. It doesn't have that shock value to me, or I don't get that kind of feeling from it like I used to as an older man. But I appreciate the lyricism. I appreciate the tact, and his technique is flawless, and I'm gonna go on record as saying unmatched. It's crazy. It's crazy what he's doing these days. He's pushing his own boundaries when it comes to his flow, his rhyme schemes, everything like that. Anyway, I'm going a little deep, but I think I like the
everyone
album.
should
I
go
like the
around.
album. Yeah, I liked it.
I just like the energy. Like you could
like
hear
the energy?
he's hungry. Like he needed this. To me, it's like he went through the whole recovery shit. So he dropped the recovery, relapse, all that shit, trying to figure out how to get back to where he was without the drugs.
Yeah.
And it took everybody dissing all that shit for him to be like, holy fuck, I'm not being myself.
Yeah.
And then he dropped Kamikaze,
Yeah.
which has that same energy from back then. So to me, I'm like, it's cool. Like, it's good to hear Eminem like this, but I'm not taking it like, oh, Eminem's revived now or anything. Nah, it's just a
Word.
dope album.
Well, one thing too, though, we're talking about how Eminem's back, and it took him this long to realize, you know what I'm saying, that people weren't happy with him being Slim Shady. Like, it's one thing they touch on Bud, and I just caught it when I was coming in. I didn't really peep it that much, but one thing that they mentioned, which is true, is that he actually is paying a lot more attention than we give him credit for. Like, everybody thinks he's like that Jay-Z who sits like beyond the walls of social media and doesn't see a damn thing, know a damn thing. Like, someone else runs his medias for him. Like, he doesn't see or know nothing. But this album exposed that he does. So for how long has he really actually known that people
It's
were
been a
fed
while.
up with the image? You know what I mean? Like, maybe he hasn't been on the internet this whole time, but he's been on there.
He's been on.
Yeah.
He's been following from time because when he first dropped the other albums, he was saying there was a time when he was going through a rehab that he felt he wanted to diss everybody. He wanted to diss Kanye. He wanted to diss Drake. He wanted to diss, but then he's like, but I felt like they would kill me.
Yeah.
Wow.
So his self-confidence was like
Imagine
done.
that.
Yeah.
And
He did
Done.
say
Yeah,
that on
yeah.
that
You're
one
a better
joint.
rapper than all of them,
Mhm.
and you're afraid to diss them.
Wow.
This is what I'm saying about
So-
what's going on with him.
But yo, you know what though?
Yeah, it's a confidence thing.
It
Makes
is.
no
You know what?
sense.
It is very much a confidence thing.
Yeah.
Because one thing I'll say about myself too, like I personally as an MC, I feel like I'm one of those dudes. You know, like a lot of dudes who make more, hype, like catchy songs, like shit
Yeah.
that like rocks his song better than me. Like CheZZa broke it down.
Yeah.
Like, I never made no broke it down.
Yeah.
But you know one thing I will say is that I think I can roast pretty damn near any MC I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the bars wise, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? The flows, the patterns, that kind of shit. Like I think I could roast anybody.
Yeah.
But I've never battled. I've never tried to take a King of the Dot battle.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do battle
Yeah, yeah.
rap, and I've never tried to battle.
So why don't you though?
Well, the thing is one of those things where like you're at a certain set. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's not even a cocky thing. You almost try to tell yourself it is.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I don't need to do that. But what it really is like you're like, yo, you don't want to like you're stepping in other fields. You're doing things that like could jeopardize.
Yeah. What
Like
you doing?
it's not even about the people's image of you. It's
Yeah.
your own image of yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you know what I mean.
hear
You're
you.
like,
I hear
yo,
you.
And this is why it's important that either Eminem responds or he doesn't. Because if he doesn't respond,
Mm-hmm.
if he's worried about dissing Kanye and Drake and all these other people, then MGK is a bigger issue to you than any of those guys.
True.
well, yeah,
True.
that's true.
That doesn't make no sense to me.
It's the thing.
Huh.
My brother was talking about. He was like, "What's the whole meaning of kamikaze? A kamikaze is like a suicide bomber, someone who's ready to kill himself. So
Ooh, yeah.
with that,
'Cause them
and
albums
M
are
is
always well
hitting
thought out.
everybody. Maybe this is how he wants to end his career. Like
Yeah.
somebody, he's like, this is everybody hoping that somebody will tear him apart and he
Yeah,
can just
yeah, yeah.
disappear.
Yeah.
So maybe he's looking. That's why he
Yeah.
actually goes out of his way saying names that he
Yeah.
shouldn't be saying.
Yeah.
Like he's been ignoring Machine Gun Kelly, but all of a sudden
Yeah.
he's talking about
Yeah.
Machine Gun
Yeah.
Kelly. You know what I mean? Like he's been ignoring everybody, but he's shooting little shots at
know
everybody,
what?
trying to see who hits him.
That's a good concept. You know what? If this was M's attempt of retirement, even if it ended up being a black album and he came back, whatever. But if that was his attempt at retirement, I would respect that
Yeah.
huge because that's a way to go out that like doing the like I retire, I'm back now shit is so corny, like the
Yeah.
Jay-Z's and the Lil Wayne's, like
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
like trying to be like, you know, I'm Jordan in this shit. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, it'd be cool if someone did something like, yo, I'm gonna go out on a suicide mission.
Well, that's
like
it.
that's ill. That's ill.
Think about it this way, and I just thought of the connection here. So think about it. He's a master of his craft, right? And technically he has taught a whole generation of rappers how to
Oh,
rap,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Or he set the bar for
Yeah.
a
He
says
whole
it
new
in the song.
generation of
Yeah.
people,
In the song,
right?
he's like, Honky's rapping like me,
so many
but not
people,
as good.
and he's the
Yeah.
influence, right? So think of it this way. Now, when you're a master of your art, your craft, you have your students, and you're poking them, you're teaching shit, you're always testing them.
Yeah.
And there's always a point in your masterhood where the student surpasses you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Word.
That fucking hasn't happened to Eminem in his whole fucking
Yeah.
career.
Nobody.
It's not happened. He's never been taken out. So
No.
I think that's what he's trying to do.
And MGK is the closest one
Yeah, yeah.
to being his student that people are like, we
That's
follow
true.
him.
That's true. That's true.
Right?
That's an interesting theory.
I don't know.
actually.
I mean, because
The thing is, Eminem has nothing else to lose. Like
Yeah.
this would be the
Yeah.
best way you could go out.
100%.
But you're gonna
100%.
leave a lot of disappointed fans
He's
if
not
you don't
going
respond.
out though.
True.
He's not gonna go out because the album is dope. He owns his label. He owns Shade 45. He probably has his money in all types of shit.
Yeah.
He's not losing.
No, but do you know what with Eminem too? See, I think the biggest thing with him is like I seen someone make a point the other day, and they're like, "Yo, I ain't fuck with Eminem since he stopped rapping on Boom Bap." I'm like, so what? You stopped listening to him after Infinite then?
Exactly.
I'm like,
That's a
what?
long
There's
time
like
ago.
maybe like 2 songs. I'm like, now that you put it like that with so much emphasis, I was
Yeah.
like, maybe 2 songs. Like, I guess I just don't give a fuck's kind of boom back, bap. I guess like As the World Turns,
Yeah.
kind of. Come on, everybody. A
Yeah, but
little
not really.
bit.
I guess not even.
That early album, because remember, he brought it to Dre, and Dre added more songs.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
those songs that Dre.
Oh,
had a
sorry.
hand
And My
in-
Name is about the
Yeah.
closest he ever came to boom
Yeah.
bap. That's literally just the Labby
Yeah.
Sifra. I got the drum break reprogrammed so it
Yeah.
sounds a little cleaner with the even the violins of like that's just like a fucking 30-second interval of the fucking Labby Sifra song.
yeah.
So that's like about as boom bap and hip hop as you get,
Yeah.
is like straight jacking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Aside from making a boom bap beat.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
about as hip hop as
Yeah.
you get. But yeah, I just thought like that was ridiculous. But to me, for someone who's such a fan of the culture, Like, why have you never, like, when you're that big, why make an album like Revival and try to appeal to everybody when you could just, like, go link up with Primo and do an album?
Sobriety.
You got the money, you have the
Sobriety,
resources.
like, you gotta
and
go through your
fucking-
12 steps.
And Primo for years has been saying, yo, M, get at me. They have the mutual connection, Royce. Primo fucking DJ'd fucking the Shady 2.0 Cypher.
Yeah.
And he fucking produced y'all already know, or y'all ain't know whatever, off the fucking Shady 20 album, that the Slaughterhouse joint. You know what I mean? Like, that connection establishment is there. I even asked Royce when I interviewed him, like, yo, like, there's a rumored Eminem and Preem track, Keys to the City. Can you validate if that's real? He's like, I ain't never heard of such thing. But like, to hip hop fans, you know what I mean? Like, especially like me, like, who are Preem heads, that was the collab we've been waiting for, like that Preem and Nas album. That, like, I don't think ever is coming, right?
Yeah.
But it was one of those rumors, so I had to clear it up when I interviewed him. But it's just like, that's something Eminem needs to do.
Yeah.
Like, I think if he just in touch with, like, doing what he loves, opposed to, like, all this other glamour and bullshit.
I think it had to do with sobriety. It's like going through his 12 steps.
Yeah.
Going through, like,
But he
telling
was-
everybody apologize. He apologized to his mom. He was being nice. He
Yeah.
was just seeing, like, he was talking about, I'm the old
A grown
guy,
man
Yeah.
version.
all that
Yeah.
stuff. So he was like, I'm just trying to be a grown man now.
Yeah.
I can't be that wild guy. Then all of a sudden, when
He's
he tried
popping
to grown
back
man
to
shit,
the
people were
wild
like,
guy.
what the fuck is wrong with you, B?
fuck is
Like, you're
this shit?
garbage. He's like, hold on a second. People are calling me garbage?
Yeah.
He's like, no, never in my life has someone called me garbage.
Yeah, yeah.
And now they're calling me garbage
Yeah.
3-4 albums straight? Fuck y'all.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
going in.
Yeah. He's like, I'm sick of this shit.
But, you know,
Yeah.
I think if he would just link up with, like, you know, it doesn't need, not even a full album with Preem, you know, let Dre maybe do a couple joints, but don't, because, like, Dre, I feel like, as much as, like, they've complimented each other and helped each other, right? I think Dre kind of molded that image that we were talking about off camera before, but, like,
Yeah.
you know, how he went a lot more, less for, like, the hip hop culture,
Yeah.
and more
Yeah, yeah,
about,
yeah.
like, just, like, kind of really represented whiteness in his music after
Yeah.
he signed with Dre.
Yeah.
And I think that was part of the gimmick,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, you can sell with, like, Kid Rock and Limp Bizkit and all these guys,
Yeah.
because it's almost like a form of alternative. Like, punk and hip hop have the same roots.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? They're both the underground culture in New York, hence why
Yeah.
Beastie Boys exist and
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they were very intermingled in the early stages. So,
Yep.
I think that was kind of the approach with Eminem, and that was the marketing
100%.
tactic, right?
Yeah.
And
And,
that could actually show in everything he does that is Beastie Boy like.
yeah, exactly.
The album cover, he did the video that was like,
And he's so homaged by, like, has so much appreciation for them. They're one
And
of his
then
favorite
he
groups.
brought in Rick
It's
Rubin.
easy to
Yeah.
fucking get that homage out of them. It's like Biggie to Jay-Z, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
But-
what other white rappers were there? Like, you know, Vanilla
that were serious.
Yo, do you know,
Falcon. I
do you
just
know who
like
slept
there was
on?
a few, but
Milkbone is slept on, yo.
Milkbone-
Milkbone was
no.
nice.
But didn't even M fuck him up too? M fucked
He had a
him up.
whack line like, I'm on the search to crush a Milkbone. I'm everlasting. I melt vanilla ice like silicone. I was like, yo, if you're going to diss
Yeah.
every white rapper in the world,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
the wackest way to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But
why
they-
did you not mention a Cage in that verse?
They had a
He
back
had
and
his-
forth.
already had
though,
his beef
him
with
and
Cage.
Him
Yeah.
and Milkbone had a little back and forth.
Yeah, I know Milk
Yeah.
said something to him.
Yeah.
Milk wasn't as nice then. Basically, keep it real. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, he had a decent album when that came out.
Yo, without Milkbone, you wouldn't have what is potentially the illest freestyle moment in hip hop history.
Which is
Jay-Z and Big L on the Stretch and Bobbito show.
because of Milkbone?
really?
They rapped on the Milkbone Keep It Real
Oh,
beat.
okay.
That moment would not exist if Milkbone were not in hip hop.
I mean, they couldn't use any other instrument.
But that was
Yeah,
a big,
but do you
that
think
was,
Wouldn't have been as epic.
that was a
the
big
mo-
instrument at that time. And that was a really
But
sick
that's a
record.
moment. It's
Keep
like-
a Real record was a really
And
dope
especially
record.
if you watch like the Stretch and Bobbito documentary, they say like Stretch like specifically picked beats he thought matched the artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe he would have picked something and maybe he would have made a bigger moment. But
That
it's
was a
very
dope record
easy
back
that he
then.
could have picked a beat that made a worse moment.
True.
So
was
yo,
a big
without
record, though.
Milkbone, you don't have the illest freestyle in hip hop history, yo.
I could
That's
say
butterfly
Yeah,
effect shit
yeah.
right there, yo. Straight up.
Yo, crazy.
Shout outs Milkbone.
that. People are like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah. Check that shit out. Keep it real. That shit's fire.
Yeah, it was a dope track.
I think like, never mind. That's just a whole nother random conversation that don't need to happen. But so now that we've talked about Eminem a little bit, where we feel he stands on this album, I myself, I mean, between points, I've kind of expressed how I feel about it. I think it's dope. Like, I think it's some of the best work he's put out in a long time. I don't know where to compare it yet. I gotta give it a little more time. Every other album he has had years to resonate, except Revival, because I didn't even give it a chance.
Yeah.
Because I just
Yeah.
lost faith in him. I honestly, if this had the big rollout, I probably wouldn't have even peeped this album, to be
Yeah.
honest. Because Eminem, from being someone who he inspired so heavily and someone that like was like, yo, like in those like Slim Shady LP days, to like slowly just watching him degress over the years. Like at Encore, when that drop was one of the most disappointing moments, I was like watching Master Ace lose the battle to Boogeyman. You know what I mean? That was like one of those moments in hip hop that hurt you, like Cannabis pulling out the notebook. Like Encore, I'm like, whoa, this is what I've been waiting for. And then that hiatus and Relapse, like I learned to love these albums after and the corniness in them and shit, but like they're not that material. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You try to find what you can love out of something that sucks.
Those weren't the best parts of his life either.
No.
So,
But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what the point of even bringing all that shit up was anymore. Eminem. Oh, I think this might be the illest shit he dropped since maybe Eminem's show.
me too. I think so.
I think like cohesive wise, like project wise. I mean, there's songs on albums since Eminem show that like if you could combine them all, the songs I like from different albums and make an album, I'd like it more than this new album. 100%. But as a full album front to back, like judging like a 444 or like a Illmatic, like this might be the most cohesive piece of work he's made since.
And did you notice on this album he didn't do one accent or voice?
No, but he kind of deaded that like 2 albums ago, didn't he?
He's been doing it, but this album, in this Slim Shady persona, he didn't do one voice or one accent.
I couldn't handle that shit.
Word.
I can't. Like,
Yo, that shit used to annoy me, but you know
so
what?
Bad, man.
Do you know what now? It's like
So goofy and just I was just like, what is this?
That's
It's
how
like
you know
other
he was about
artists that,
lyricism
like-
in this album. He was like, you guys gotta hear me spit this album.
But you know other artists who you like give a pass over time because you love them so much, so you're like something pisses you off, but then you keep listening and you're like you find it. Yo, to me, once you get over that stupid accent, Relapse, that album is actually hard. Like if he rapped that album in his normal voice, I think it would be better than Kamikaze. But it's the fact of that fucking accent.
That delivery is ridiculous. It's
Like
ridiculous.
the delivery,
no value added. I don't know. That's just me.
yo, like the shit he rhymes on Relapse, like some of that shit, like 3 a.m. would be such a fire song without that stupid fucking accent.
Well, I don't know what he was trying to do.
Fire. The lyrics are actually like, you know what I mean? Like the shit's on point. Like there's joints on there that are so on point. And you're like, why would you rap like this? Like you literally ruined a song that was like potentially just fire. Like that would have kept all your fans happy. They'd been like, yo, Encore was a dud. But instead you took the worst part of Encore and made a whole album in that fucking.
But it was boring. If you look at all his albums, the only good ones are when he's hungry. When
That's
he
true.
wants to rap.
You know why? I think that's the same for all artists though. Jay-Z is like the only artist that exceeds that.
Yeah.
Even Drake, like Drake's not. Let's be honest here, yo. Can we be honest here too? Drake's not good anymore. He's a good entertainer. He's a good pop singer.
He's consistent.
He's aight.
He's consistent.
He's not a good rapper anymore.
He's consistent.
We're talking rapper here though. We're not talking like
The problem with Drake
hitmaker.
is
he's
We're
at the
talking rapper,
peak
rapper?
of his career as being a hitmaker. Like he's on top of his shit. Don't get me wrong, but let's talk about rapping here.
But
like.
rapping, you always got to question it now. With Drake, you
Yeah,
always
but
have to
come
question
on,
it.
you know as well as I do. He's been writing shit.
But I don't
Like
know.
I mean, that first hook, his first hit single. You
I
the one to
understand.
show me that.
Yeah,
That
I
was
understand
stolen
from
Cardi.
From the Cardi song. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Forever.
Rock
or
City.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Rock City by them.
Rock City.
Yeah.
over the Same Boy Wonder beat.
Yep.
And so yeah, man, like
He's
the
been
dude's been teething for time.
Yeah.
But you know, in those days when he was writing, like you know Drake, you know what I mean? It's like any MC when you know they're writing the way they write. Like it's even like Kanye. Like you can almost tell when he's not writing this shit.
Kanye's never wrote his shit.
Yeah, he has
Kanye
some.
has never wrote his shit.
You don't think ever?
You ever notice anytime Kanye drops an album, there's an artist beside him? Rhymefest. GLC,
Yeah, I don't know though because like
Mos Def,
I've heard
Talib Kweli. He was rolling with those guys, and they were always together, freestyling, whatever. They were there helping him with lines.
No, but
I'm
they-
not saying like they wrote it out for him.
Yeah.
But they helped him with his lines. Break it down. Do this. So
Yeah,
that's why
yeah.
people are like, you don't sound like the old Kanye because he doesn't have those
He's
people around
never
him
been the
anymore.
old.
He doesn't have those people around him. He doesn't have those hip hop people around him to
would
make
love
him
to
sound
do
hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Word.
I mean, I've heard like stories from Talib. He goes on record and he's like, "Yo, he was Kanye was one of those guys that he wouldn't shut up.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that just always wanted to rap for you. He's always no matter who you were. Oh, another guy comes into the room.
Yo,
I'm
gonna
check
rap
this
these
out.
same verses
Check this
again.
out. No, exactly, same verse over and over and over again.
He was like,
Like Kanye was that guy. Like
He might
people
not
are
have
like,
had
yo,
the
you're
most
annoying.
catch a line. He'll
Yeah.
catch a good line, and he'll sit on that line.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Word.
the first
Yeah,
album,
yeah.
his biggest line to him was the I got the mayonnaise colored cars. I call them Cool Whips.
Yeah.
He loved that.
He
If you
thought
look
it was
any
so
in-
clever.
exactly,
He was like, oh man, like,
exactly. He'll get those quick lines like that. He'll catch and he'll
Hyping up
stick
himself.
to. But people will help him build to
Yeah.
get to drop that line.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
every album Kanye's done, he's always had a writer there beside him. That's why he has no problem giving credit to everybody.
Yeah, because you've heard that too,
Yeah.
right? Like Sci-Hi says, like anyone who's in the room, like you could be the pizza guy delivering off pizza, and if you're there during the writing process, like, yo, what's your name? What's your publishing?
Yeah.
Like he gets everyone. He's like,
100%.
yo, like you didn't even contribute, but you're part of the vibe. He's like, you get credit.
He learned. He's like, I don't give a shit. Let people know. People
Well,
help me
fuck.
write. I still make the music.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? It's a good point too, because since he's been hanging out with less people surrounding him, like this Wyoming or wherever the fuck mountain shit that they
Isolated,
filmed,
isolated,
this
man.
new shit that, you know what I mean? That's some of the wackest Kanye bars I ever heard
Yeah.
on some of these albums.
No,
You know what though? Everyone shits on him on Cop Shot the Kid, but I think he had a better verse than Nas. I'm not
Oh,
gonna lie.
fuck out of here.
I don't know. He's got nobody vetting him. Nobody's telling him like, dude, that
Exactly.
sucks, man.
Exactly.
Like
No, the people are.
you don't even have to say
saying
it that way. You just go like, I don't know, man. Maybe try something else, or I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just he's got nobody there telling
Oh,
him
no,
that.
it's bad.
There's
There
nobody in his
anymore.
circle who
Yeah.
has the balls to say it to him. Because
Yeah.
I think that he's like, he's a hot-headed guy. I
Yeah.
think if you say something that he doesn't like, he won't
He'll feel it.
He won't hesitate to be like, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You know, take
And
a
you know
walk.
what? Now that you said that, that's actually presents another good question. Are yes men the worst thing that can happen to a hip hop
Of
artist?
course.
Definitely.
Of course.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when you
for
get
sure.
too comfortable, you need someone to tell you that you're too comfortable, man.
Now,
You need someone.
do you think the yes men come in through opportunity, or do you think that artists seek them out because artists are sensitive
Both.
about their craft?
Both.
So it's a double-edged sword
Yeah.
that really it comes.
It's comfort for the artist.
Because most,
comfort
like,
for
think
the
about it.
yes
Most
man.
artists, it goes back to the point you made. Once they're not hungry, they get a lot whacker.
Yeah.
Because they're just writing
Yeah,
anything.
it's true.
They're just writing anything. They're like, I have an album that's due this day.
Yeah,
I got to make 12 songs. And they will make 12 songs.
yeah,
Like, that's why when it comes to, was it Blueprint or Black Album? Where Jay made it in 7 days. I think
yeah.
it was Black Album.
Did he
No,
make
Blueprint.
that?
7 days.
No
Blueprint or
way.
Blueprint 2.
Blueprint 1.
Oh, shit.
He made it in
Really?
7
7
days.
No, he didn't.
7 days.
I don't fucking believe
because
it.
the fire, like after like the takeover dropped and he got the thing, 7 days. But when
That's
you
a
write
dope album
7
for
days,
7 days.
Yo.
think about it. You're on
That's
point.
crazy.
Your head is
That
there.
is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like things have to push you to do it, or you're gonna just drop shit albums. That's why when we're actually talking earlier, and you're talking about battle or
Yeah.
diss songs, they should take long. They shouldn't take long.
No.
If they make you feel, you can write.
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
You
yeah,
will write.
yeah,
End up
you're right.
writing probably like a 96,
Yeah.
and say, "Let me just pick out the best bar."
Yeah, you're slicing the fat off, right?
Yeah.
And you're just
no, I
kinda
agree. I
sticking
agree.
with the best
Because
stuff.
I actually, like in the city I grew up in, we there was one group really, like, I mean, there's a generation gap, older dudes before us, but in our generation, there's one dude of kids, like a little group. I won't say the name. I'm gonna put everything on like ice and shit right now, but like that like we're buzzing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before like me and like Lip and Ace and any of us, like even like basically the Breaking Records team was a team called Icon prior to that with a couple different members and shit. But we like before we even like formed like Voltron and shit, like these other kids were known. And I was just like got sick of people being like, yo, you heard these guys? Oh, they did a show here and shit. I'm like, the fuck, man? I listened to songs that was so whack. So I just made this like fucking one day I just got so cheesed because you had that hunger in you, right? And I made this diss song and that ended up catapulting me. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, you know, if not like to be cocky, but like, you know, Brantford's a small fucking city to begin with. But I could bet you someone in Brantford's watching is getting offended or something. But like if I was not the one of the for 100% most well-known, respected rappers that ever come out of Brantford. And it all started from a diss song. You know what I mean? That got buzz, and then you just built on top of that.
This
Then we
is
started
why-
doing YouTube videos in the early days, and we did these things called massacres every week. We dropped just verses over beats and shit.
Yeah.
But it's that hunger. You know what I mean? It's
This
that
is why
hunger.
diss records are important.
And
Never
care
get
what
attention.
nobody
and that
says.
shit just came to me off top, like just like you're saying. And there was 3 diss records, maybe 4 I've written since. I never released them because like I'm not even trying to air this shit. But like someone pissed me off or offended me, and those bars just come. Like a diss record's a record. Once you end the pen and you go back to start writing, you're like, I don't even want to finish this right now. You know what I mean? You're not in the zone. So
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
what
yeah,
you
yeah.
said is actually completely fucking accurate.
No, 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that is one of those things that you got to be in the like
Your zone.
It's the fire. It's the fire. You know what I mean? Like, you always need to be tested. You need to be tested as an MC. You know, you need somebody to just be like, you're whack. And you'd be like, wait, no the fuck I'm not. And I'm going to fucking prove it to you on record right now. Right? Like, that's just...
That's
Yeah.
the
That's
Eminem
what,
album.
yeah. Essentially, that's exactly what this album is. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Everyone told me you
Like-
were garbage, and he was like, "Fuck you guys, I'm gonna show you I can still sing."
Yeah. Yeah.
And he did, and he just.
That's what I love about it.
See, same here, and that's why I don't go so much an issue with the MGK thing, because I'm like, you know what? For a while, maybe you're trying to be politically correct. You're like,
He was
why
trying.
hate on the young boy? You know what I mean? Like, let him do his thing. He pissed me off or whatever. But then you get to a point where you're just like, yo, fuck it, I'm giving it to everyone.
Yeah.
Then like, yeah. Like, yo, you stole my mom's purse 10 years ago. You might have thought I let that shit slide, but nah, here I am in front of you with a gun in my hand. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
blow! You're getting it now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's like with the thing, like Charlamagne always says, like, you can't slap a man in his face and then expect not to be murdered.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna do something, you
gotta
gotta be
accept the
prepared.
consequence.
Accept the consequences that
Yeah,
are
sure.
possible. You know what I
That's it.
mean? You don't egg a human being on without the potential of something happening to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't control somebody's reaction to what you do.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's the way he worded it. You just put it. Yeah, exactly. Like perfectly. Yeah, you can't control somebody's reaction to what you do when you test them, right?
Yeah.
It's actually something Eric B said that
Yeah.
interview I was telling you guys about.
Yeah.
He said with Tupac with Nas.
Yeah.
They were like in a situation where like Pac had like 30 people with him. Nas had like 60 people with him. And Eric B's like, yo, I'm telling you, man, Nas don't want nothing to do with you. Like, he's cool. You just
Yeah.
keep egging him.
Yeah.
He's like, put it this way. When you got like a pet pit bull or something,
Yeah.
and you keep beating him every day, you keep kicking him, you know what I mean? Treating him like shit. One day he's going to come back and bite because
Yeah.
he has to.
Exactly.
He's like, that's what you're doing to Nas right now. You need to chill. Pac went over, squashed it with him, and according to Eric B,
conversation.
that when they were flying back to LA from because Eric B, I guess, ran Death Row East, which I didn't
Yeah,
know.
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
he did.
yeah, so
That lets you know how thorough Eric B is.
I know, man.
Right?
But Eric B's gangsta. I'm telling you,
That
yo, I'll
lets
send
you
you guys
know
the
how
links.
thorough.
Peep this
'Cause Suge Knight
interview with
went
his
over him
nephew.
and
It's
said, "You
so
know what?
dope, man.
I
'Cause
respect
his
you enough to let you
nephew-
run my
Yeah,
shit."
yeah.
Yo, man, because his nephew knows shit about him.
Yeah.
So he keeps trying to get him to talk, and he's like, "What is this, an interrogation?" Like, he's so smooth, bro. I'm telling you, yo.
Just playing it off.
I'll send you the link. You guys will love
yeah,
that
yeah.
shit.
Right, just
But
keeping it cool.
either way, I guess on the playing back though, Pac and Nas like were actually supposed to technically do an album together.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nas was saying that. Well,
Yeah.
Nas was saying they were supposed to do a song. They were planning on a song, and then he died.
Yeah, so like
That's why the
Interesting.
disc
And
is
Pac
still
wanted
on
to do a whole
Machiavelli,
album.
because he didn't get to take.
he
that
didn't get to
disc of
take it
Nas
off because he died.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's crazy, man. Like shit like that though. It's like I don't know. Those are the hip hop moments I love though. Like just hearing that kind of shit.
That's what everybody remembers, man. Everybody
Yeah.
remembers these beefs. Everybody remembers the diss records, the tracks, and that's what gets people
Yeah,
fired
that's
up.
the competition. Like hip hop was always taken like a sport for real. Like there was always battling. Either you're
Yeah.
dancing battling, you're doing graffiti battling, or you're freaking hip hop like rapping battling.
Yeah.
But either way, any element of hip hop, there's a battle. There's a battle portion to it, and it's the only type of music that does that.
And do you know what? Now that you say that, you just made me actually
Yeah.
realize something. Do you think the reason why competition is so dead in hip hop now is because originality's so out the window? 'Cause think about it, back in the day, that's what you're competing. Your dance crews are competing to be the most
Everybody
original. You
was.
weren't doing the same moves as each other. You guys had to have the freshest style. Like Get Fresh crew versus Funky 4 Plus More?
Yeah.
Like the infamous like first rap battle of all time? It was one of those ones where like everyone's like the show, they won the money, right? Because they had the sex appeal, whatever, the girls were feeling them, they got the louder crowds. When the tapes hit the boroughs, even like, DMC looks back, he's like, man, like that was like that tape, that battle tape, like Grandmaster Casanova, he's like,
yeah.
that's what inspired me to rhyme.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like that was like, when the boroughs got it, they're like, whoa, nah, like this is the, but you know what I mean? It was like, I feel like almost like the
Battles,
battle in hip hop has always been a thing of originality. I feel like it became something else, but like, you couldn't bite someone back in the day. If you
Yeah,
did, you
yeah.
almost had to bark off to who did the
Well,
style the
it's-
best.
it's like the prove
DMX
yourself,
and K
prove
Solo.
yourself.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like fucking.
But
Prove
what I
your-
think
yeah.
the thing that makes everybody sound the same and makes them all buddy and friends and do all that is they don't have the confidence they had back then. They have more fear
Word.
today.
Yeah.
They're scared of getting blasted on internet.
you can
on
spit a
social media,
rhyme
or
behind your
whatever.
computer and not have to worry about getting punched in the face.
But they don't battle because the big artists, they still have to buck up with each other.
Yeah.
Back then, they didn't give a fuck if they buck up
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
Wait
was
till I
street.
see
It
you.
was street.
Wait till I
Yeah,
see
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Now it's like, oh man, I'm gonna have to see him.
Even actually, Fat Joe, Fat Joe talked about that recently with Vlad, like in one of the last clips they dropped, and he said he's like, "Yo, I fucked up a lot of money for us early because of beefs I had,
Yeah.
like because I was too street, I was too reckless,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
you know
That
that
too.
don't make no one money.
Kids today
but we
are
didn't
not
look at
street.
it like a business.
No.
We
Yeah.
were just still from the streets, so we were like,
Yeah.
yo, fuck that,
Yeah.
I ain't dealing with him, this that. He's like, man, if I could tell you how much money I missed out on now, he's like, I would go back and change everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing. These kids today, they're not street.
No,
They want to be street.
The kids today are the kids that our generation grew up in saying, you're not gonna live like I did.
yeah,
So they have no clue about struggle. Everything is buddy buddy. Everything is
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So they don't care about that extra. They never got tested before.
yeah.
So now they're hip hop. That's why you hear when that little kid pulls up on Lil Xan runs into the McDonald's.
Yeah,
When was the last time you hear about a rapper running away?
yeah, yeah.
Scrap.
right.
Yeah,
No,
you
they're
throw
gonna
hands.
scrap, and
Yeah,
plus
yeah.
their friends are gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
The crew's gonna get the man first.
Like
That
somebody
wasn't
somebody
kidding.
swang,
Yo.
somebody swang, and then it's
And
like
you make
you
a
know,
good point too, and it reminds me of a Royce bar. You guys probably know the one I'm talking about, but I can't think of the song. But he's like, listen, I think it's Golden Arrow with Joey Badass off the Prime shit. But he's like, take it back to the basics. Like a rapper basically should get punched in the face before he starts rapping and get punched in the face. Then you know, like basically saying
initiation.
like, you know what I mean? Like you need to get like punched in the face over hip hop a couple times and go through some scuffles,
Yeah.
like you know, before you grow up, you know, like get punched in the face or
Yeah.
have to deal with some real life shit. You
yeah.
know
or
what I mean?
or if
Like-
that's how it's going down, at least face it.
That's
You know
how
what I
you
mean?
get incels
Like
and
like
shit.
fuck like running away, hiding behind a fucking keyboard or this and that. Like why are you avoiding this person? This person's in the same circle as you. Hip hop's a small community. You know what I mean? Everybody knows you, and if you don't fucking step to the plate, well, you're nobody. You know that
Yeah.
nobody's gonna respect you. You know what I mean? And that's
why
the whole
MGK
thing.
gets the most respect right now.
Oh, 100%. He stepped to
Sorry
the
for
plate.
people, you
Yeah,
know?
he
Yeah.
did step to
Yeah.
the plate.
Have
Regardless
to.
of where the ball landed, you know what I
did.
mean? Like he fucking swang, and he, you know, kudos to him. You know, fun.
You know what? I will give him that. We can even debate this, but to me personally, MGK's diss wasn't that hot. It was a cool song.
It was
Yeah.
dope. The lines he was saying about M,
Yeah, they're alright.
it was alright. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It's like that's why I made the post I made
But it's
yesterday.
also that shock.
But Ja Rule and Everlast, who both are not regarded as MCs,
Yes.
by the way. They're both like Ja Rule's you know. Everlast is
was good.
I.
He was good.
Everlast
He was
was
good
good.
at what
In
he
the
does,
80s.
you know.
Yeah.
like-
Before House of Pain, he was dope.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like they, you know, they are what they are.
Yeah.
But these guys both had better stingers in their disses to Eminem than MGK did. Now having a flow and making a cool song, that's one thing. But when you judge a diss record, like to me, it's all about the stingers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Calling Jay-Z a camel. And fucking, you know, dick sucking lips. Won't you let the late great veteran live? How many big rhymes gonna come out your like, yo, like that shit's cold. You know what I mean? You can hit him with the like, you know, the fucking Slim Shady can't stand up because he's got bad knees lines, like the fucking Gay-Z and Cockefeller records. Rockefeller died of AIDS. That was the, you know, those are the lines that
But
are similar
it's
to one
hard-
another.
It's hard to like compare Ether to this.
But what I'm saying
That
is,
shit was really super personal.
well,
That's the thing.
That's
This-
what makes a
that's
good
what it is.
diss.
But
Is
the
the
this
person?
Is the thing, though. This is the thing. The issue with M and MGK is not as deep as it was with J and
No,
Thing.
it's not.
And M is just crying about something that happened 6 years ago, and this guy's looking at him like,
I'm sorry,
"What the
I
fuck
wouldn't
is
let that
wrong
go.
with you, B?
I wouldn't let that
That's
go.
all. That's all the song was. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
That was my kid. I'd never let
Yeah.
that
You
It's his
could have
daughter.
got. You
It's
could
his
have got at
daughter.
me 6 years ago.
Yeah, so you know what? I don't have a
And I
daughter,
did.
so I can't speak.
And I did. I blackballed you from everything
Yeah,
that's mine. But
coming
you
at it
continue to
now?
keep talking.
Yeah, he came out.
You kept talking.
Yeah.
I blackballed you
But
for my stuff.
Because of blackballing me. You blackballing now. You stopped my money.
Yeah.
Now I gotta. I'm gonna talk
Now
my
it's
shit.
personal. It
Now,
is not
it's-
even-
now,
that
it's,
is
now
personal.
it's personal.
He
But
blackballed
the
him off
Jay
of
and Nas
his
thing
stuff.
was a different scenario.
It was,
And it's
but
hard to compare.
no,
It's
I'm
just
not comparing the
hold
diss
on.
records.
It's just like Cuba saying, "Oh yeah, he's saying No Vaseline was a better record." Of course it was. No, but then you're not bringing up the bitch in you that was that destroyed you.
Yeah.
The bitch in you is fire.
So your No
so
Vaseline
wrong.
record's one thing, but
remember that
let's
day.
let's talk about the bitch in you. So every record has a reason, and whoever delivers and whatever they do, like this thing with MGK is not over yet. Meaning you don't know what he got stored in the chamber.
No,
We don't know shit.
but I just want to
This
go
is
to
just
the point you were
this is
saying
just
though.
this is just like when Pusha put out Infrared.
Yeah.
Infrared was not a dope record.
Yeah, yeah.
Even the stuff added on is
but-
not even a dope
wouldn't even say
record.
this
But
is
it
Infrared.
did
No,
what
but
it's
it's a good
supposed
diss.
to do.
It's like Remy Ma's Ether.
It
It's not a
did
dope
what it's
record, but
supposed
it
to
does.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
the whole point.
And see, and that's why I think people misconstrue, in my opinion, Takeover to Ether.
Yeah.
Ether's a better diss record, Takeover's a better song.
Yeah.
And
you
a
know
lot
what?
of people judge it like that. They look at it like that back-to-back
Takeover has
theory.
facts.
When was the last
Say what?
time you heard
Takeover is full of
Takeover?
facts.
And when was the last time you heard Takeover?
You know what though? Like who's telling
doesn't
facts and
matter.
who's not though? Like people say
Jay-Z broke down
Ether's
the
not.
career.
People say Ether's not full of facts just because of
Ether
the
has
slow
no facts.
jabs.
Well,
He
he
does
does
not-
look
Rock,
like he does
rocking
look like
jazz
Camo.
chains, no car, no like rocking jazz chains. Like
But if you actually look at people who speak about Jay-Z when he was in younger days,
you know what? He wasn't.
always had the chains in the cars.
Yeah, but do you know
Always.
what the real story is? You know who D Haven is, right? He bought him those chains. Like it's all coming from a place of real. Yeah, all right, you weren't rocking
had
jazz
them,
chains,
but it wasn't
But
yours.
who knows who the fuck D Haven is, right? So you were
D.
rocking
Haven
jazz
was
chains,
His
No.
guy on the street,
right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Him and-
he was divine intervention in Dead Presidents too.
yeah, yeah.
D Haven is the divine intervention. He's the
D. Haven's a snitch.
But it was his
now.
crew. Like he was
no man. He's not. Jay Z said that.
D. Haven's a snitch.
No, watch the Doggy Diamonds interview, man. He never snitched on him. There's no paperwork. There's no nothing. People call him a snitch because
You don't
Jay
have
Z
the
said that
paperwork.
line.
You don't have the paperwork.
No,
If
do you know
me
what
and you are
happened?
Cool, and I know something comes out, I know you said it regardless if it's on paper.
No, I think with D Haven, man.
Yeah,
Who'd he snitch on? Who went to jail?
it's not. It's something he did.
No, do you know what it is? It's because he came out with a documentary on YouTube in its earliest stages called Jay-Z Exposed. Right after that is when Jay-Z dropped the D Haven, made men don't make statements line. So D Haven's did an interview recently. He let it sit for years because he's like, people in the street know what's up. Like, I'm still here. Like, people know what's really up. He's like, but because he's trying to put an actual movie together about like his life. Now he's trying to like, kind of be more public. So he's like, I'll clear the air. He's like, but all that happened, like it literally happened because he made that Exposed movie. You can still find part of it on YouTube, but most of it's been taken down, by like rock or like by force of copyright.
If no one
for
goes
that.
to jail, it's not considered snitching anymore.
What'd you snitch on?
He
KRS
told
snitched
Jay-Z's
on.
life, and Jay-Z don't talk about his life or whatever.
No, Jay-Z through his records told D Haven's life.
I think Haven was okay with that. He was there.
He said he was there less in the beginning than he gets credit for. One of the only things he really did when Rockefeller started was he put up he said like 10 grand for a show they went and did, and I can't remember where, like DC or somewhere.
Yeah.
And the show didn't pan out. So like Dame after the show was like, yeah, sorry man, it didn't work out. And like Haven's like, well, like so what's good? Like, like he wasn't even really following Jay once they started Rockefeller. He's like, he was there when they like made the name of the label and shit, but he's like, he's like, I was on my own shit. He's like, I didn't really care about that rap shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He's like, well, Jay was my dude, so when they asked for help, I reach out. He's like, and they asked for money for the show the one day. He didn't get his money back, and like Dame just kind of like switched styles, and he was like, yo, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And, like, didn't give a fuck. So he talked to Jay, and Jay's like, yo, man, don't worry about him. Like, and he's like, and they never made it right. And then, slowly throughout the process, I get cut out. Like, the dude who's like head of Rock Nation,
One.
what'd you
Is
say?
it one?
What's the guy's name? The guy's head of Rock Nation's like clothing right now, apparel and shit.
The one that came out of jail.
Yeah. What the fuck's his
I know
name?
what
Like,
you're talking about. I forgot his name.
I can't remember. It starts with an E, doesn't it? Like Erickson or like fucking. Can't remember his name. But D Haven introduced him like on some like street shit back. Like he was in Maryland, he was pushing for Haven, and like he introduced him like all those like reasonable. And he like the funny shit is when he
See,
gets asked about
Fact,
it.
you know all this? He was snitching.
Yeah.
Nah, man. Do you know what? Do you know?
Anybody knows about
No. Do you know why I don't believe that though? Is because if you watch his interview, D Haven does not bring up nothing. Doggy Diamonds is digging at him like, "Yo, what about this and what about this?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, well, if you want to bring that up, like, here's one that they didn't talk about, but now when you know the story, you can listen, right? Because D Haven was the son of Jay-Z's mother's friend, right? And they he was then introduced in the game, Black Republicans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He never talks about that, but now listen to that verse.
Okay.
Even though you was nothing but a son of my mother, we had covenant. Whoever thought to love it, and like,
Yeah, doesn't he mention D. Haven's name? in
no,
it?
he doesn't. He raps about him all the time. He doesn't mention his name. That's
yeah,
what I'm trying to say. Like, this dude has credibility. Just people don't know who the fuck he is. They think he's a snitch from that one bar, right?
Yeah.
But either way, I don't even remember how we got caught on the D Haven thing. It
It's
had
all-
something
it's
to
all
do with what we were
related.
talking
It's
about.
all related to
It had
the
something to do
whole
with it.
battle
But yo,
thing,
people like
how
some of
things
the
are
D Haven
connected.
stories. Yo, it's
Everything's
interesting.
connected. That's-
He's divine intervention.
A lot of these battles or arguments come from shit like that.
But yeah.
just a little
Oh,
misunderstanding.
that's
that
how we
grows
started
into
with the
something
Nas
bigger.
shit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But see, Nas had jabs at him. You know, he may not know D-Haven, but he's like, hope he didn't buy those chains. You know what I mean? You're like, you didn't have no one's numbers. You were running, asking for my, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, he might show him his first tech on tour, Large Professor, but who's to say that doesn't mean, like, Nas didn't have a 9 with him? You know what I mean? That doesn't mean you showed him his first gun. You showed him his first tech. You know, words are very powerful too, the way they're used. Like,
I mean, nobody does the research.
no,
That's
but
where the
like
research comes in.
the research does come in.
Oh, no,
but
for sure.
like Nas, Ether has facts. That's the one. That was the dispute though. Like I hate when people say Ether don't have no facts. It got facts.
Yeah,
Search-
some facts. I know Bleak was
It's a lot of
saying that
name
too.
calling, but
Yeah, there
It
is.
is. It is. It is a lot of name calling for sure. But I mean, like, who the fuck's doing research back then? I mean, you could so
and
easily
to do research, you gotta go nuts.
Yeah,
baby.
you got to know somebody. You know somebody. You're talking to people. It's not as easy as today. You just look something up and be like, "What is this?" You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
today, you fucking find out anybody.
So what do we think
on
the
anybody.
better diss record is then?
Between what?
Between what are you talking?
Ether and Takeover first.
Oh,
It's a better song, not a better diss.
Is Ether the better diss?
Because all he said was, what did he say about Nas? He just said,
You're missing out on the fame. I know along with celebrity comes about 70 shots to your frame. You a lame.
I think Ether's will always be
Went
remembered
from
as the better. diss.
Carl can something
Yeah,
the
Nasty
Esco
Nas, the
as
Escos,
Nesco
as-
trash had a
yeah,
spark when you
you
started.
started,
Now
now
you
you
just
just
garbage.
garbage.
Went from top 10 to not mention it all. Your bodyguard Gucci while he first was better. That line was kind of hot.
Horse didn't
Matter
have a
of fact,
better
he had the best verse.
Horse
of the
didn't
whole
have a
fucking
better verse.
it is what it is.
Come on.
at the end of the day.
No, he
But,
didn't.
like-
But as a kid, I thought he did.
Oh, he did.
Cause like, no, man,
remember when it
Nas's
first
verse
came out.
is actually the best verse.
Yes.
To
No,
match
actually,
that
yo,
beat.
Jungle,
It lands.
To
yo,
be on
young
that
thing,
beat?
put your around my yo.
Yeah.
Jungle had
shit
the
was
nicest
wicked too.
verse.
But Jungle's a bodyguard too. Jungle is a bodyguard too. He's
Yeah.
the street guy. He's the one that
Yeah,
nobody wants
that's
to mess
true.
with.
That's true. That's true. Jungle is the rider.
But yeah, back to MGK's thing. What the hell were you saying about MGK?
There's not enough truth in it for me. Not enough.
I
There
think
was
a lot of the
some,
stuff
but-
he was saying was true.
No, there just wasn't enough. Like, okay, there was
He
truth.
wasn't coming at him
but
hard.
it's like, yeah, it's like,
That's
yeah,
the thing,
Eminem,
too.
you're old,
He
you're
wa-
grumpy,
it
this,
was
but
like-
I'm a fan. But this
I
and
think
that,
you're the
like,
greatest, but stop acting like this.
There was no like ooh moments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you listen to it,
No,
like, you're
yeah,
like, okay,
like
okay,
Added
okay.
On had woo moments, and the only thing like I can think like going back is shit like Rip the
I wouldn't even
Jacker,
say
like
that track is added on. I'd say Kamikaze,
Yeah.
whatever track, I can't remember the name of the track, but whatever one he's dissing MGK on that's Infrared. Pusha T.
yeah, I agree.
MGK.
M hasn't
Yeah,
responded yet.
MGK is Duppy because everybody was like, "Holy shit!
Yes.
his career is done. His career is
Yeah.
done."
Yeah.
Now, M has to drop his story of Added On. If he doesn't respond to anything, then
Well,
No, I see it. I see what you're saying. I see it.
I think
But
I think he
the
has
thing
to
is, the
reply,
story
man.
I did on didn't
I got to
kill
keep that
Drake.
same energy. I said
Fuck.
Drake got to respond.
I'm saying M has to kill him for his daughter's sake.
Nah.
Because if your daughter is the main reason why you're getting at him and blackballing him, good for
Yeah,
your daughter.
yeah.
I say if Eminem loses this battle, yo, no disrespect, Slim Shady, we trying to get that Shade 45 slot. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Shade 45, no disrespect. I love you, Eminem. Yo, let's get that interview going. Paul Rosenberg, let's link it up. Yo, but I feel like if Eminem loses this battle, he has to let MGK fuck Haley.
Oh,
I wouldn't say all that.
that's your stipulation. That's like, oh
But-
wow.
Yo, no, that's what's up. Yo,
That's
if
stipulation,
this
you know
all
he's not gonna
started
lose.
over Haley,
You know he won't lose
if
at that point.
this all
exactly.
started
You ain't
over Haley, yo, you got to keep that same energy,
Yeah.
fam. You got to keep that same energy, Eminem.
Yeah. You know, he's
But
gonna
the
have to
whole
come
thing
back.
that started with Haley's because she was 15, 16.
Yeah.
That's where the issue comes in.
Oh, was she like
Yeah.
underage when this shit happened?
Yeah,
So he
she
was
was like a
like, yo.
16-year-old girl, right?
And he said he would smash?
He was like, "Oh, she's hot as fuck."
Yo, get the
In
fuck
all
out of
respect,
here.
He said no
So it's like,
disrespect,
no-
but your daughter's
What-
hot as
what-
fuck.
Why are we
Yeah.
calling the
Can we
Machine Gun
find the
Kelly? This
actual
is
tweet?
clearly R.
I
Kelly.
wanna
You
find
know
the
what I'm
actual
saying?
tweet. Let me see the actual tweet.
Yo, why do people got to make the name Kelly look bad? What the fuck you people doing, man? Yo, fuck R. Kelly. Fuck Machine Gun Kelly. Yo, if you'll notice, I just have a trend of hating people that have the same name as me. Fuck Post Malone. Yo, I don't fuck with none of y'all motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want interviews from none of y'all, so fuck y'all.
Oh.
No endorsements.
It's burning
you know what I'm saying?
bridges
But yo,
already.
holla at me, Shade
see this.
45. Yo.
I was
Either
watching
way.
the Hot 97 interview.
So he said, "Okay, so I just saw a picture of Eminem's daughter, and I have to say she's hot as fuck in the most respectful way possible because M is king."
Okay.
Wow.
Bro,
This is my 15, 16-year-old daughter.
I get
Yeah,
where
no,
Emma's coming from.
you know what?
Don't
That's
I get where
crazy.
Emma's coming from.
That's
and
crazy.
I also get where Mr. 21-year-old with the hormones is saying too.
That's like 21 Savage before he even
I know.
rapped.
Look, people say the same shit about fucking Danielle Burgerly. And I have to remind
The
them,
little
she's only
16-year-old. She's
14
like
years
14,
old,
15,
13,
Yep,
15 years old. And they're like,
Oh, Bad
shit.
Bobby?
Yeah.
Oh,
People are
God.
like, oh, shit.
People are always like, oh shit.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right. But
But
I'm just saying.
There's a
that's-
difference with Bad Bobby and Haley because they put her bad whatever.
Yeah,
center
I understand.
stage.
I fully
How you
understand
gonna
that.
Yo, how are you
I
gonna
fully
like
understand that.
morally
Haley.
call a girl Bad Bobby and release that on your record label when she's 14 years old? Like, yo, you go in the bin with R. Kelly and all the motherfuckers.
Well,
didn't
Yo,
see
the Barbie
Machine
thing
Gun
is
Kelly,
like-
R. Kelly,
The
and
Barbie
Atlantic
thing is,
Records.
Nicki Minaj thing, like, you know what I mean? Like, girls call themselves Barbies, so it's nothing. It's light.
But bad.
Baby.
They
Bobby,
talk about
whatever you wanna
that.
call
That's
it.
what she probably made up her name.
Was there a
Yeah.
was there a G-Eazy verse in there?
I don't know. Would
Was it?
you let like a 13-year-old girl come out on your label and call herself Sexy Susan or something? Fuck no.
It depends
It's
how
the same
much of a
shit. Bad
dirtbag
is like
you
the
are.
new like term
Oh,
for like, yo,
that's-
she
that's white
bad. You
trash
know what I
shit.
mean?
You
Like,
gotta remember,
that's
let's
some
not
white trash
pretend
shit.
You
ourselves
gotta
here.
remember on
Let's not pretend ourselves here, like,
what's
and
the
act like
first
this is
Jay-Z
innocent.
Jay-Z and Foxy Brown song.
Ain't
nigga?
no.
Yeah.
She was 16.
Yeah.
She was 16.
Talking some shit.
You hear the shit she's talking?
Between
And those were
my
around the
pubic hairs.
times. Those were around the times.
She
they
didn't even
said-
have pubic hairs then.
those
Holy
were around
shit.
the time.
Yo, hip hop epiphany.
What are you talking about?
those
She-
were
She
the
didn't even have
16.
pubic hairs
She
when
did.
she
She
rapped.
16.
has hair.
16.
She got hair.
Yeah,
That's fine.
16.
Yo.
Puberty.
So how old?
Puberty's happening.
But
Let's not forget.
we gotta remember, Jay-Z was rumored to be fucking her at that time.
Yo.
How old was Jay-Z when he busted? 28.
Yo.
So-
Jay-Z's like that dude who like does 10 victory laps in high school, and like when the girls like you went to grade school with getting grade 9, they start smashing the dude like, oh, he's a grade 12, and
Yo.
like you find out later he's like 27. You're like, what the fuck is going on
Yeah.
here?
He's outside.
Fucking
Waiting
Matthew,
outside the high
Matthew
school.
McConaughey
Oh.
is dazed and confused.
Yo, I'm just playing. Yo, Hove, we want that endorsement. Let's get us on title. You know what I'm saying? Toronto Talks. Yo, Hove, throw up the rock for him. You know what I'm saying? It's a diamond thing. Either way.
But yeah, M did everything to keep his daughter outside of hip hop. He did. He tried
Out of the
everything.
spotlight.
Out
Yeah.
of the spotlight,
Yeah.
out of
Yeah,
anybody.
Except
So that's why
talking about
when-
her at every waking
Truthfully,
moment possible.
when MGK found that picture, that was like one of those like moments like, holy shit.
Damn.
Eminem's daughter's out. Like, we finally see what she looks like.
Yeah.
So with him, he was like, yo, she's hot as fuck. But at the same time, knowing M.
Is that
and
allowed,
knowing,
though? That's
if
fucked.
I say that, no
Eh.
one's going to notice it. MGK says that as a big white artist.
Yeah.
The next Eminem that they were heralding him as.
Yeah.
And he's talking about Eminem.
and-
In Eminem, to me, if
Well-
I was Eminem, I'd be like, yo, this guy wants to be me so bad, he wants my kid.
But even that term AF,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, it's so like normal now.
Now.
People use it. I don't mean now as now. Even
Yo,
back then.
well, why don't you guys run the
26
live
years
for
ago.
me?
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
run
Only
the
6
wash
years.
them.
Only
got
6
you.
years ago. So I'm not saying it as a good statement, right? You know what I'm saying is, you did what you did,
Yep.
and now he's like, okay, you've been doing this to me now for 6 odd years. I'm kind of getting fed up. You're fucking with my money now. Fuck you. You're not the greatest to me anymore, like I thought you were.
But
Yes, okay,
he
you want to
did
get
say he is.
of course.
He did say
Yeah,
he's
he
the
did.
greatest.
Yeah, you are the greatest based on what your past. But what you've been doing for the past few years, minus boycotting me, are you really that good?
But was his, like, that's another thing. Was his boycott just on,
It was really based on that tweet.
but what was he
Yeah, he
boycotted
blackballed
from?
him.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah, yeah.
blackballed
He
from
was supposed
Shit
to
in 45.
He was supposed to apologize, and he so-called
He chose
didn't
not to.
apologize. And from that, just anything Shade 45, anything that Eminem could extend out.
Yeah.
So Shade
Yeah.
45, Interscope, and that was like the extent of it.
I don't know, and it probably like in certain media outlets, you wouldn't hear MGK because of M's influence,
Could be.
right? So in his songs, he's saying like it's affecting putting food on my table now. Now I get the point that maybe I'm wrong for saying that. Cool, but now you're going past a certain point. You think I'm not gonna push back either?
Exactly. No, it's true.
So I see both of their sides.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting what it's about.
Yeah.
Nah.
So now when you hear the records now, you're like, okay, I get where they're coming from.
True.
But
It's like a lot of people think it's just coming out of nowhere. MGK's just doing it to get hype, and at the same time, when Eminem was dissing everybody, it's Eminem's just doing it to be relevant. Nah, he has reasons
There's
behind what he's saying.
reasons for everything.
Oh, for sure. For
Two
sure
of
he
them,
does.
Two of them, both.
You know what I mean? Like, even with the whole thing with Budden had reasons for what he said over a period of time.
See, it's always about how people say things.
Yeah.
Because if MGK said it how you said it earlier, you're
Yeah.
like, if he said, "Yo, M's daughter is beautiful,"
Oh,
M would have been
yeah.
like,
yeah.
"Good look, bro."
And I took it
Good
like
looking.
that because I
There was
was
a respectful way
You
to say
understand
something.
the
yeah,
thing, but
I
at
was
the
watching
same
the
time-
Hot 97 interview from about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's how he described it. I didn't see the tweet. So I'm like, if that's all he said, I'm confused. Now you show me that, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And you can't misconstrue something like that. Like,
Yeah.
that was a disrespectful thing to
Yeah.
say about a man's daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he didn't even say it to his
And just
face. You
knowing
wouldn't
it-
say that to somebody's
And that's
fucking
something
face.
else. M didn't know him.
Yeah.
Like, say,
exactly.
like, Royce was like, "Yo, your daughter's getting hot, bro."
Yeah.
He looked at Royce like, "Yo, calm down, bro."
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Chill out.
Yo,
Chill
like,
out,
chill
right?
out.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know MGK.
Yeah.
He just knows MGK as the next Eminem, the next person who's supposed to
Yeah.
be like Eminem. So that probably already annoyed him in the
Yeah.
first place. And now you're talking about my daughter, bro. I don't even know you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, exactly.
And done you. But
Yeah.
it's just all how things were said. 'Cause
Yeah.
He said it. Yo, she's
Yeah.
beautiful. It'd have been a rap.
Yeah.
I would have been like, cool, good.
Oh, yeah,
looking out.
cool, yeah,
You're like,
whatever.
but
Yeah.
don't mention it. Stop mentioning it.
Yeah.
But we respect that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I think Eminem, he waited so long because he wasn't about to end this fucking kid's
Like,
career.
he didn't.
He wasn't
he
about to
didn't
do
know.
it, right? He could
He
have.
didn't wait long. He was already fucking up his career.
Actually. What
Yeah,
if
but he did it
waited-
behind the scenes. If he came
But
out
that's
on
the
record
problem,
and just
man.
fucking murdered him on the mic or on record
Same
or
shit
something
Nicki
like that,
was doing to people behind
Would
the
it-
scenes. And
Yeah.
sooner or later, if I start
It
fucking
came
with
out.
your money,
it came out.
you're gonna get pissed.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, you're gonna get pissed.
What if, let's keep it like, say it's still a daughter. What if he didn't reply? Because now she's 22.
Yeah.
So she finished high school. And we'll say 1 year, she's 1 year outside of university. So what if he just waited to make sure she was out of school?
Yeah.
So that she didn't have to deal with that at
Maybe,
school too.
maybe. It's possible. It's a
Just little
possibility.
things.
I can't really say why he did it, chose to do it now, because remember he chose to diss a lot of people based on a lot of things,
Yep.
whether it's bad album reviews or whatever. So
Like Joe, even if Joe didn't say, "Yo, that shit is trash,"
yeah,
M would have been cool with whatever he said.
of course.
But because he was like, "Yo, that's garbage,"
Yeah, but that's how Budden speaks, and that's the whole thing with Drake.
Exactly.
The same thing happened with Drake when he said he feels like he wasn't inspired on views. Drake took that to heart.
Yeah.
When they talk shit about Nicki, she took it to heart.
Yep.
So it shows that these guys are not as great as we want to make them to be. They're
still-
great as
well,
artists,
they're artists.
but when it comes to criticism,
Yeah.
They're artists. They're still.
They're human. They're humans. You
Yeah.
know what? Like
Little sensitive.
somebody can say something to set someone off,
Yeah.
right? That's the bottom line. Not everybody is impervious to criticism.
Yeah.
It's just how you take it. Like,
yeah,
Another thing I think makes a huge difference too, right, is the fact that one thing I've said before with
Yeah.
us talking, but I think what makes a great from just a good artist is vulnerability. The artists who put themselves into the music, right? That's why like artists like No Disrespect, but like Busta Rhymes never like plateaued to where they could have been. You know what I mean? In my opinion. And there's other countless artists, but like they never really like got to that level because there was no vulnerability. Like Jay-Z was the only exception, and he eventually started showing vulnerability,
Yeah.
but he gave you very little of it early in his career. Reasonable Doubt's got like gangsta vulnerability.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
then there's like, In My Lifetime's got like the one song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you get like a little bit through his career, like Daddy, where have you been? Like enough almost just to like let you know he's human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But pretty
Yeah,
well
yeah.
every other artist, shows vulnerability throughout their career, and that's what makes you connect with people, right? And that's one thing I think is huge. And I don't remember. Fuck, what the hell were you talking about right before that? I had a point I was making about vulnerability, but that's why I think a lot of good artists, you know what I mean? Like that's why I think you got cats like Lil Pumps and shit, like who might not necessarily give a fuck. Like they're more offended at like Lil Yachty hates Lord or fucking Joe Budden more for the fact he was just blatantly attacking him
Yeah.
than the fact that he doesn't like his art.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's cool if you don't like my art. I don't give a shit, right?
But he
because
wasn't
there's
really
no
attacking
vulnerable
him.
attachment to it.
Yeah.
If you look at Yachty turned around and tried to rap after.
Yeah.
He did.
He did try to rap, so he really did respect hip hop. So they love that.
I'll give
respect
him
from
props for that,
Because
too.
with this Eminem diss from Lil Xan played it. He's like, he might have dissed me, but this shit is fire.
Yeah.
Yachty was like, he took a few jabs, but I love this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like to them, it's like they still love that hip hop shit.
Yeah.
It's just that
they're just not concerned with being good rappers.
No, they just want to get the money.
But when you're like that too,
Exactly.
you know, like I think vulnerability goes a far way, and that could be even just like as simply as putting the time into like, you know, from like a poet. You know what I mean? Like poets aren't cool.
Yeah,
When has a poet ever been cool in your life? Rapping made a poet cool,
Saul.
but when has
Saul Williams.
say what?
Saul Williams was wicked.
Who's Saul Williams?
You ever seen the movie Slam?
I don't
Check
know.
that out. The soundtrack is Slam. I remember that.
But it made poetry cool,
Yeah.
like to on
Saul
a
Williams
mainstream
was-
wide audience. Everyone thought poetry was cool
So
yeah.
everybody like
For a bit.
they know
for a bit.
Yeah.
It's still there. It's still
Saul
there.
was within the hip hop community.
Oh, okay. So it was like, yeah, spoken word kind of shit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, spoken word's super dope. But the point I'm getting at, though, you know what I mean, is like even I think to just be a poet, there's a vulnerability. Even if you're not one of those greats with that vulnerable aspect, if you're someone who respects just your craft, that's a vulnerability. You know what I mean? Like you want to write shit that connects with people. You know what I mean? That's where if you make a song that says Gucci Gang 8 times, I really don't think you're worried about connecting with people.
No, he's not worried.
That is not your
But
concern,
no,
right?
He's not
no.
connecting with a wide range of people.
No, he's
But
connecting
he is
with
choosing to connect with his niche.
with his
group of
niche.
people.
Exactly.
'Cause
And that's what poets and hip
You
hop
see
do.
me at
Hip hop
15,
like
16.
we all
That
do
might
it.
have been on my workout soundtrack.
Yeah.
That might have been on my warm up basketball.
As much
shit.
as I hated Soldier Boy, I still listen to Yo dun, dun, dun. That was like this yo, that's where the
He's one of the
downslope
powers
began.
of this stuff.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
when
Like
the
a pioneer.
downslope
No,
really
it's true.
began.
It's true. I mean, it comes down to it comes down to songwriting, essentially. You know what I mean? And you know, throughout the ages, whether it's hip hop, whatever genre you're listening to, there's certain themes that pop up over and over and over again, and these are the themes that that people respond to. You know, it's like there's certain things, and if you write a song in that theme and how it relates to you, it's going to speak to somebody on a deeper level than check out what's in my cup and what I'm doing on the weekend and the car that I drive, right? Like essentially, like flossing is one thing, you know what I mean? But it gets old. It's like it loses interest. You lose interest when you're listening to song after song
Of the same.
of the
thing.
same shit, man. Like
I can't.
You know?
I can't even listen to song after song.
year after year, artist after artist, same content,
Actually,
same shit, and you're like,
so-
it's just repackaged. You're like,
Hold on. Is the problem the artist or us as listeners choosing not to listen to this music at the right times?
wow,
Because if we're on a long
Wow.
drive,
it's true.
why are we gonna choose to listen to Lil Yachty or Pump or whatever? Why? We're on a long drive.
On a long drive,
You
I'm
have
listening to
things-
like
you don't want to
Moment
be
of
doing
Truth.
this all the way.
I'm thinking like
exactly. You're gonna think
yeah.
you're gonna listen to something that you're gonna listen to.
Yeah.
But that new generation, that's what they're on. They don't give a
No,
fuck.
it's true.
That's what they're
It's
listening to when
true.
they're when they're driving.
Yeah.
What? When you're
The
in the
Lil
club and have a
Yachty-
little liquor in you.
The little Yachty in their
Where
whips.
those beats come
Some
from. Yeah.
certain people, that's what they listen to.
Yeah,
true.
yeah. You want to listen to something that's getting you going. Like,
Well,
yeah,
do you know
that's
what the
I look
crazy
for.
thing
That's
is,
what I
too?
looked for when
Every
I was younger,
generation's
right? Like,
different.
you know,
That's the crazy
what-
thing too, is that a lot of people like we're all hip hop purists to some degree or another. Some more extreme than others, and whatever. We're all hip hop purists. And the thing about us is that's so different from the average listener. It's like you gotta compare it like this. Like when we were young, like the shit that made like artists like video killed the radio star. Like shit that made that shit hot when
yeah.
you were young,
Yeah.
and shit that made like like fucking you can't touch this, doom, 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 like shit like that. Hot, and not even that. Let's go to like everybody dance now.
Yeah,
Dun,
yeah,
dun.
yeah,
hot
yeah.
when you were young, and like shit like the shit that made all this shit hot when we were young. Like it was just the mindlessness because there's been the large majority of people who consume pop music has never been people who give a fuck about music.
It's fucked up.
And that's why now hip hop is the pop. So now the large majority of the music being made does not represent us.
yeah.
But maybe
Yeah.
a large majority doesn't struggle. And
Say
hip-hop
what?
Doesn't struggle. Hip hop is struggle. So most people love hip hop. They feel because they relate to it. If I don't relate to your struggle, what the fuck do I care?
Yeah.
But there's a
Like-
lot of people that listen to hip hop that never
Like,
came
they
from
love it because
struggle.
of the lyrics.
Yeah, they love it
They're
for
like,
different
Yo,
reasons,
that's so
yeah.
raw. The way
Yeah.
you guys can say that shit. You guys just talk all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they turn around and
Yeah.
go into the business like,
an
hey,
appeal.
and how you doing today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But being able to connect to someone and relate, once again, that kind of boils back down to vulnerability, right? I think that's what makes good art at the end of the day. Like, there are very few exceptions. Like, name me a rapper who's looked at as a great, aside from Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, but they're from a different era. You know what I mean? It was all about being the flyest then.
Yep.
Like, you weren't connecting to a wide stream audience. You were trying to be the best in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't even know other fucking cities were listening. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't give a shit. Like, but like, when you take it past that era, like, name me an artist who doesn't show you vulnerability who's in that great list. The only one I maybe put, and it's because of his ability to actually improve his whole career, which is very rare for a rapper, like what you said earlier. Usually you degress because you lose hunger. But one artist who never has degressed, he's only progressed, is Black Thought. For some reason, being less and less hungry
hip-hop.
just makes him better and better.
He loves hip-hop.
R.A. the Rugged Man's another who progresses throughout his career. I can't name many others. There's a few.
They're not in love with the fame, though. They're in love with hip-hop.
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
If you do
It's
this,
the craft, man.
Black Thought's doing this.
It's the
Yeah,
craft.
I
wanna spit.
Like, he's there.
Most
Yeah.
rappers, you're like, yo, let's freestyle. Nah.
Nah, I get paid for that. I'm not really
Well, this
freestyling
is it.
for free.
Like Black Thought, he treats it like an art. It's an instrument to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's music because he's got that training. Like, he's got that jazz background, and that's how he connects with that band, and that's how he can roll with all that. He makes all the beats, makes everything. You know what I mean? He's catching all the nuances that the regular average listener doesn't give a shit about, or they don't even see it. It's not.
They don't
even
notice
thing.
it
It's
even.
not a
But
thing.
at least Black
Don't
Thought
even
gets
notice
to keep
it.
the whole roots around them at the same time.
Yeah.
So those discussions are continuous.
Yeah,
Look
they're
at someone
all
like an M.
feeding.
M all of a sudden just isolated himself.
Yeah.
To the point he had nothing around him. He wasn't watching TV, so he had no clue what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
See, do you know what sucks about an artist like M? And if you look in musical history, I think it's pretty common thing. Most of the best musicians of all time are drug addicts in some degree. Yeah. I don't deny in any way. That's actually partly why I'm a drug advocate. Like, I'm all about doing drugs. Like, anyone who wants to do what they want, do it, as long as you control it. Right. When you become an addict, then it's a problem. You know what I mean? But recreational use, like, do your shit. Like, I have no problem with none of it. Like, if we wanted to go take a break and Mike wanted to smoke some crack and you want to do some crystal meth and you want to do some heroin,
I gotta smoke the crack, bro.
yo, I would be like, give me a hit of all them shits. You know, except the heroin. I will not do heroin, actually. That's the one thing. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, for one, drugs are looked at a certain way.
You said that like he just offered it to you.
Yeah, no, like what?
Not the
What,
heroin,
you
no,
got
sorry,
some?
bro.
You got some?
Sorry, Specs.
You got some?
You gotta keep that to
Yo,
yourself.
y'all got some? Keep that same energy. Come on, bring it. But no, I want that. No, but like, I'm an advocate for drugs, man. I think they get a very bad rep in our society. And the thing is, like, the shit like Big Pharma is pushing you and shit is worse for you. Like, fentanyl kills more people a year than every other drug. You know what I mean? Like, this shit is worse for you. And people are still finding ways to abuse the shit. So it's, you know what I mean? Like, there's drugs that actually you can, like, connect with spiritually, psychedelically, mentally, like, with the energy and shit of this planet. Like, I don't know if you're religious. People don't really believe in energy. You believe in religion. I got a lot of time. So it depends where your mind state is. But I don't believe in any religions. I believe there's higher forces, but I believe everything's energy, right? Like, you know, even the ancient religions, all that shit, they're based on astrologies, energy points of the planet, things like that. Like, so everything is that. And if there's substances that can get you in tune with that, then why are they looked at as negative? But yet Big Pharma can push you shit that does really pretty much the same thing, less psychedelically, as painkillers and different things like this. And they can push you the same shit chemically created, and the shit's way more addictive and, like, harmful to you.
It all comes down to intended use, right? Like, I think that's really what it is.
Like, if you can be a productive crackhead, I got love for you.
Well, if you're using it for pain, if you're using it for something, like,
for
you're
a while.
medicating yourself. You're medicating yourself, right? And that's a big part of, like, what culture has just taught us how to deal with things. That's how people deal with shit.
We have our first comment of the show.
Oh, shit.
Alicia Gutman says, any dependence on a substance is unhealthy. And the reason why I have to agree with this but disagree is because what are we talking about when it comes to substances? Because, some people might have dependencies on certain drugs and stuff, but the person who depends on eating fast food every day, it's the same shit. You have same dependencies. You ever seen that fucking freak show? Freak show, it's rude to say, but that show, like, on TV where those people do fucking weird, like My Strange Addiction, and it's people who eat rocks and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of that shit, like, yo, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'd rather be a crackhead I'd rather smoke rock than eat rock. You know what I'm saying? Straight the fuck up. Like, at least I'm getting something from my strange addiction. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, you've never ate a rock before.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't know.
Crushing your teeth might sound good. But everybody on this planet, the thing is, we're not scavengers no more. So we have dependencies on things, like, because we need to fill voids. that's exactly what it is. Like, if we were constantly hunting for food and shit and worried about our lives, I don't think many of us would smoke cigarettes or, do any of the shit, sniff cocaine or all the shit, anything that we found.
Time.
Yeah, it would be like a healing thing.
Yeah.
Anything we used, we wouldn't be refining sugars to a white powder that make them addictive and impossible for the body to break down. And we wouldn't be creating GMOs. We wouldn't be doing none of this shit. We wouldn't be polluting, taking gas out of the planet. People just become too fucking bored because science makes things too easy for us. And that's the problem. You know what I'm saying?
It's too much. Everybody has.
We all have
more
dependencies.
free time than they've ever had, right? Like I think that's what it is. You got to fill up this free time doing stuff. You're not going to do nothing. You're not sitting there fucking doing nothing. Well, what else can I do with my
unless you're an
free time?
incel?
Wow. That's another topic.
I
ain't trying to get no incel endorsement, so fuck y'all.
Straight up.
They're gonna get you, Chad.
Right?
They're gonna get you, Chad.
You guys can.
That's just funny.
To all the incels out there, man, you can do it. Go out there and get some.
Just go to the fucking.
It doesn't have to be
Have
involuntary.
you never heard of Harvey's on Jarvis Street? Like, come on, man. It's only $100.
Go out there and get some. I don't know.
Facts.
I think they got a
$100.
complex about paying for that shit.
That is too.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
feel
so it's
they
fucked
deserve
up.
it. They're
Yeah.
supposed to get it.
I'll tell you one
I'm
thing.
too
though.
shy to talk to girls,
No,
so
no.
I deserve
No,
pussy.
hold on.
Get the fuck out of here with that
tell
shit.
you-
You got wedgied when we were in school, fucking pussy.
Yo, sitting around at home by yourself on your computer is not helping the matter.
Not at
No.
Go the fuck outside. Go
On
meet some
Instagram all
fucking
day,
people.
looking
Yo.
at models.
I don't
like,
know. It's not helping anything. Like,
Past
that's
a
not
certain
helping you
age in
fucking-
life, when you're younger, it probably won't work this way. But past a certain age in life, I'd say definitely high school. If two guys go approach a girl, or let's say they're in the same space, right? A single girl, she's looking to hook up, right? The uglier dude who's got more confidence is leaving with that chick over the hotter dude who's shy and is just like, yeah. You know what I mean?
You got to shoot your shot. If you don't shoot your shot,
Then you got no chance.
sure, you gotta
and
swing.
confidence
You gotta
is a
swing.
big thing people don't look at. Confidence is the biggest sex seller in the world.
sense of humor.
Yeah, sense of humor works, but sense of humor is like the fallback off confidence. It's like you get comfortable, then you hit the sense of humor.
Yeah.
You never go in with confidence on a sense of humor. You don't go up to some hot girl on the street like, "Hey, damn girl, your booty looking hella nice right now. I wanna." Like, you're making some like fucking wry ass jokes and shit. Like, "Yo, look at that crackhead over there. I bet he knows how to do the fucking."
You don't do those type of jokes.
Michael,
Not like that.
what's that fucking actor's name? Michael fucking J. Yeah, you looking Michael J. Fox over the street over there, little baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, not hitting like random girls with no fucking jokes. You don't know what their fucking sensitive level is and shit. You know what I mean? You already got to be
man, you just
comfortable
throw
to
a
be the
quick
funny
thing.
guy.
No, man.
I
I was always a sense of humor guy.
I've
was always like,
I've always been a
say
sense
you
of
go to the
humor
store and
guy.
You see something, you're like, oh shit, that motherfucker goes hurt. And you'll feel that girl, like, she'll start laughing, like, I can't believe you just said that. Then all of a sudden, a conversation will start off with sense of humor. You do quick things.
I guess it depends your
You're
sense
not
of
gonna sit
humor.
there and go
I got a pretty.
strategic.
So a Jewish man and I damn got into the. You know what? Look at you, be like, what?
I guess maybe that's the difference. I have a pretty aggressive sense of humor. I think Mike knows. Remember last week on the show? That went wild. But yeah, I have a pretty aggressive sense of humor, so maybe it's different for me. I was always shy to use sense of humor as confidence. I had to learn to grow confidence. Like, just be a man, walk over there. If she says no, there's another vagina in the ocean.
Listen, everybody sucks at picking up girls at the beginning. You know what I mean? You got to swing.
Yeah,
You
you gotta swing.
You know, you can't just fucking sit there in the
You miss
corner.
every 100
and
shots you don't
expect-
take.
Just expect this shit to happen. Like,
Unless you're CheZZa, then you just
No.
make jokes and they flock to you.
No,
You'd
okay, the reason why
be
the
like,
jokes
yeah,
work
girl, broke it
is because
down.
when you look at my face, normally I look pissed off all the time.
Yeah, you do always look
pissed
serious.
off all the time. So if I turn around and make
Before
a
I
joke,
met you-
that's where that whole thing comes. Where like, oh my god, he's funny.
He's funny.
He's funny. Then all of a sudden they'll talk to me like he's not always mad. He makes jokes. But
Yo.
it's the pissed off face
That's
that when I
wild,
say a
too.
joke, it flips them right away.
That's wild too, man. Because before I ever met you, innocence was kind of fucking with you a bit.
Pause.
And I remember, yeah, that's a pause, yo. Yo, do we have to say pause over everything? Like
No, I
back
just
in the
like
day,
saying
we
it.
used to just know when a pause was. Like, is it that necessary to say pause anymore? Soon enough, we'd be like,
just say it when
yo,
you-
fam didn't say pause. He wants your dick, man.
Pause is a
Come
gift from
on.
the 90s. Pause comes from the 90s.
Word? Is it
Yeah.
that old?
Run DMC had a song called Pause.
Yeah, but it's not the same kind of pause.
Pause is a game from the 90s. Like, it's New York. I got it from, like, my cousins growing up.
But
No, but I get what you're doing. Like, it's funny
The
to say it
after-
when it's not really needed. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's like
not
it's
needed.
ambiguous. Like,
Just
wait,
throw it in, and then people are like, "What the fuck, man?"
it's like the
Just throws them off.
unnecessary censoring.
You know what?
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The censors.
Yeah, but the thing is, before I really caught on to what pause was really about, I did used to say it in random places, and people would laugh. And then once I really caught on, I'm like, oh, yo, I've been misusing this shit like crazy. But you know, like, I don't know. It's just like, do you really gotta say like, what's the fucking? I don't know. I'm not from jail. I got a homie who goes to jail and shit. And there's this fucking. He said like dudes in the one fucking jail he's with. I don't know how many, but whatever. Like anytime someone would say something that could be remotely gay, it'd be like fire. Yo, that's fire.
He's probably in there with a bunch of Jamaicans.
Yeah, but it's like, and he's like, yo, it'd be to the point where you'd be like, yo, can I get a hit of that butt? He'd be like, yo, fire! And you're like, yo, man, like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm asking for a hit of a butt. Like, do you need to specify every time something could not potentially be gay?
That's a Rasta thing.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what
yeah.
pause is. Like, it's like, do you like, come on, man, we know what
Funny,
the
it's a
fuck
New
we're
York
talking
thing.
about.
It just-
I know. I fuck with pause too, but I just feel like it's gonna go out of line one of these days. Someone's gonna get killed over not saying pause at the right time. You know, I really like, yo, fam, didn't say pause. You want your dick, fam? He inviting you to your dick, fam. Yo, you best get this motherfucker. Yo, you invite me to my dick, motherfucker. Yeah, but
No, on our podcast, we got called out on it.
Word.
Yeah, because the girl, she's gay.
Oh, you're talking
So,
about
Rooks.
Oh, Rooks. Always say word. Yeah.
It was Rooks. So when she was on, we said pause.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Yo, can you guys not do that?"
What was your
Word.
pause too, though? It was
It
pause.
was something random, but it was.
Oh, it was something.
so do like the LGBTQ. I don't
so
know
she
why
was like,
they
no, the way so
acronym
she
that.
explained
Is
it,
that
she
not-
was like,
it makes sense.
Like, that's
kinda-
offensive?
It's derogatory.
because you're not
Yeah.
really saying something that's gay,
Yeah.
but you're
You're
pause is
so
almost-
homophobic
It's like a
that-
homophobic thing. It's like don't
Oh,
say
yeah.
nothing gay.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
But see, and
But
that's-
to us, we're just playing. We're playing games, just fucking with each other.
Yeah.
But on the outside looking in,
Yeah.
sense.
She don't understand the environment.
Yeah.
See, and I never even looked at it like that. But like, I come from a similar place when, like, with what I was saying, I was like, yo, is it that necessary to like make a break after everything you said that could potentially be taken the wrong way? Yo, I
It's
put
just
pickles
nice.
on my hot dog. Yo, pause.
I do it to my brother. I do it to my brother just
You
to
put
piss him
pickles
off.
on your.
Especially when someone's telling a very serious story.
Oh man,
yeah,
do you know how
yeah.
annoying it is telling a
And then
story?
like, wait, come on,
Someone's
man. You
like,
know
yo,
I'm not talking about
pause.
that. You're like, yeah, I'm just playing with
And
you.
then you're like, what was I talking about again?
Yep.
Yo, man. Well, we got like a little less than 10 minutes left in this bitch. So what the hell y'all want to talk about?
So we finish off. We didn't even finish the MGK shit.
Yeah,
do
we
you
didn't
never
go hard.
finish
We didn't
nothing?
go hard with it.
We didn't go hard.
with it.
How did you take? Like, did we say how we did we like it? Did we not like it?
I like the
The MGK?
record. I like the record.
Mike Stone's endorsing
you
it.
were saying you
but
didn't
yo,
like it.
he's playing industry Mike right now.
Nah,
because
man, I
'cause
like the
he
record.
DJ'd
It
for
was a good
MGK a
record.
couple
Not even
times.
that. Not even that. Minus the fact that I opened up for him twice.
Yo,
Minus the
he's trying
fact.
to get that MGK interview.
I like how he put the record together. I like how he started it. I like how everything kind of connected.
The hook was catchy.
and that's, especially the fact that I didn't really know the story behind it. So I heard his version of the story, and then we're hearing how everything connects. I like how he put it together,
Word.
and it made a lot of noise. If it wasn't good, we wouldn't be talking about it.
No, we would have laughed. We would've
It's
laughed
not the
about
best thing.
Like M's gonna eat you alive.
Yeah.
But it
There's
was
people
good.
like saying R.I.P. M after that.
Yeah, the thing is, you gotta go have balls to go at
Yeah.
M.
Fuck yeah.
But you know what? You make a valid point
Yeah.
too. Who did M ever respond to that was worthy of bars?
Hold on.
Aside cannabis.
Who with bars went at Eminem? Except cannabis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Nobody did.
And cannabis made some of the most trash disses of all time.
He tried to do the Stan remix and all that.
Yeah,
And the crazy shit is,
Execution
corny.
matters,
Rip
man.
the Jacker.
Yeah.
Like second round knockout's fire, but people sleep on Rip the Jacker.
Yeah.
That is in the top 5 best diss songs of
What do you mean?
all
That's how LL
time.
Cool J won. LL Cool J won that battle.
No, I'm talking Rip the Jacker by Cannabis. You're thinking
the
Jack,
next one,
Jack
yeah,
the
yeah.
Ripper.
Yeah.
Man, yo, no, Jack the Ripper
No.
was to like Ice
No,
T or
Rip the
Kool
Jacker
D or
was
someone.
LL Cool J's.
That's Jack the Ripper. Rip the Jacker
No,
was
there's
Cannabis rapping over "I'm Bad." It's the.
Then
it's
what was the
di-
reply? What was LL Cool J's
Okay,
reply
so
called?
it went second round knockout. LL did "Can I Bust," and then the Slept On diss, which is like one of the best diss records of all time, is Cannabis's Jack the Ripper. and he does it over the I'm bad
Yeah.
beat, and he like kind of mimics his flows. Like, no rapper can rap quite like I can. You know who the fuck I am. I'm the cannabis man. I had to rock to a beat like this to show you that I'm better than the future, the present, and the old you. I told you, wish you could take it all back, don't you? Try to smoke some cannabis, but cannabis smoked you. Calling yourself the greatest is something you don't do. Cause after I humiliate you, what will the GOAT do? You can't rap or act, my main man. You gonna end up for an intern working for Def Jam. See, you was never bad enough to battle with cannabis. I had enough. Oh man, you sucked your arm when it got tatted up. Man,
I'm sad that he got blackballed.
You married a slut and had kids with her to cover up your hustle.
Oh,
You and
he
your
deserved it.
Was the Ripper Strikes Back?
Yo.
That's that LL Cool J one.
Rip the Jacker.
He
Slept on.
deserved it, man.
That shit is so fire.
That's one of the biggest disappointments in hip hop.
You know the line that
Oh man.
You married a
You
slut
know
and
the
had
line?
kids with her to cover up your.
the
You
line
and your
that
man
LL
Russell made a
that
better
LL Cool J
couple.
dropped that ended cannabis. How cannabis said 99% of your fans
Yeah.
are high
Yeah.
heels when
99% of your fans don't exist.
when
Yeah.
he said that.
Yo, I'm
was
just
like,
But,
yo,
yeah.
LL, you one of my favorite
That
MCs of
too.
all time. We trying to
didn't
get
make
that
me say he's
endorsement.
done.
Yo,
It's just a
Rock the
reply
Bells
to what he
Radio.
said.
That's
That's
what
one
you
thing I like
said.
the
The
record,
rebuttal.
but it was
Yeah.
just a rebuttal on everything he
Yeah.
said. So I'm like, I like it, but you're not being creative.
that twist on it though.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
exist.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that hurts.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
but it wasn't like.
See, yo, me and Chris were talking about this before any of you guys got here. We were
Yeah.
talking about the new diss records, the Eminem record and stuff, and then started
Yeah.
talking about best diss records all time. I personally said
Yeah.
MGK's diss to Eminem isn't even in my
Not-
top
not-
20.
not as- no.
Not even in my
Not
top
even.
20. Not even close.
I'll say-
And then we started talking about all the great diss records,
Yeah.
and we started talking about all this shit. And that's why I said, I was like, yo, like LL, he beat cannabis because of popularity, but it wasn't because of bars.
It was because of popularity. He had a bigger
Because the
fan
thing
base.
is, to make a good diss record, it goes exactly what we
Yeah.
were saying earlier. You need stingers, and a stinger is not just something personal,
Yeah.
and it's not just a good bar. It's not Slim Shady can't stand up. He's got bad knees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Eminem had knee surgery for sucking on penis, then that is one of those bars.
If he had
But that's
knee
not it.
surgery
Yeah.
at
It's
all,
like.
cool. It makes sense. That
But-
Or if
Yeah.
you said,
Exactly.
or if you
But-
said he had bad knees
But
for
that was
sucking
just a
penis,
play.
that would
Even
be,
if you
right,
made it a tie-in with something and
Yeah.
it made it sharper,
But,
but
that was just
you have
a
to
play.
mix. But
This was just a play on his old character.
I
what
know.
he's trying to bring back.
But-
And you're not that person. You're not even as good as you used to be.
Yeah.
That's all it was. That's one
but
line in the whole song. He
Machine
said a lot
Gun
of
Kelly
other
ain't
songs.
even as
Yeah,
good as he
yeah,
used
But
to be.
obviously, but at the end of the
But-
day,
he came
it
with
is what it is, and right now he's winning. Regardless,
He
what
is
they're
winning
doing.
right
Look,
now.
right
He is
now,
winning.
Eminem.
right now.
Winning.
If M doesn't respond,
Yeah.
he wins.
And unfortunately, he'll win off of default.
The same way
Yeah.
That's
Pusha T
not
won.
cool. That's not really that cool.
And you know
Wait,
what?
Pusha T won because I was waiting for that Drake diss to come.
I was
as
too.
much as I was like, I did
Yeah.
on Wicked.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, this is gonna be like one of those things because
Yeah.
Drake is that emotional
Yo,
person.
yeah.
Have
So
you
I
guys-
know when emotional people they just start going crazy.
Have you
They
guys
don't
heard
care
the
what the
rumor?
fuck they talk about
Yeah.
anymore.
Have you guys heard the rumor? Because you know how people say that like Drake may have slept with Kim,
Kim,
right?
yeah.
And that's somewhat some lines like you're trying to bump in my shit, your wifey, and the
Yeah,
line
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
finish.
yeah.
It just echoes your wifey and shit. Like people think that these are shots at like Kim K, like because Drake
Oh, yeah,
fucked her or
that
something,
whole
right?
Song is a shot
Oh.
to Kanye.
But
Yeah,
what
yeah,
other
yeah.
people have perceived? So like Kim and like I don't know the Kardashians like that, but like Kim and like Courtney or whatever call each other like Coco and Kiki. And
Yeah, so they're
Kiki
trying to
is
say
Kim.
Kiki is
Kim.
So
Yeah.
Kiki, do you love me? Or like people think that is directly a shot at
Yeah,
like
yeah,
And they've said it's two other girls plus her.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
who
there's
is
a
it?
lot of girls saying that they're Kiki. Some girl in Oakland said she was Kiki. So
Nah, this was just put together by a fan, but what they
Yeah.
did is they amalgamated like 5 different tweets from different people that like
Yeah.
all like, you know, made sense. Like the Kikis, like 3 or 4 different
Yeah.
ones from like the Kardashians
Yeah,
going
yeah,
back
yeah,
and
yeah,
forth. And then like different scenarios of different things people said and stuff. And they just kind of amalgamated a bunch of shit and made it into like one of those like 8-picture memes. But I read through it and I'm like, but it was on Twitter, not Facebook too.
Yeah, people have a lot of
Twitter's
time.
always more reliable than Facebook people. Twitter is more reliable than Facebook people.
People have a lot of fucking
But no,
time.
but yo, it was like I read it and I'm like, yo, like I was like drunk at like 1 a.m. one night. My girl's already sleeping. I'm reading this. I'm like, yo, this kind of makes sense. I'm like, yo, if this is true, this is the most savage shit of all time.
And the fact
With
it
no
went
stingers.
viral.
With no stingers.
Yeah,
but there's
yeah,
that
yeah.
conspiracy that
Yeah.
I posted on about the whole Eminem because Eminem's on Interscope.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bad Boy's on Interscope as well.
Ah, yeah.
So, with MGK not bubbling to what they want him to do, this could be Eminem plus MGK in the line. He was like, "Don't take me off the Yellow Wolf album, thank you."
Hey.
Why would Yellow Wolf even think that MGK can be on one of his songs if he signed to Shady?
Yeah.
If you know how Eminem feels.
Yeah.
So that's why it's...
Yo.
They take people
But you
out
know
for
what? This
records.
is Yellow Wolf's last album. He's leaving Shady.
They help promote the album, though.
But it's crazy.
Like-
Even Budden was saying in the thing, he was like, he had songs that he did, and he was removed off of the Slaughterhouse songs.
Yeah.
Oh, he did say that. Yeah.
So removing anybody, regardless of the situation, I don't know if they had beef, but M is probably known for doing that.
No, you know
He's got
what
the
though?
power to
Who
do
knows?
it.
But that's
Yeah,
the thing
it's
that comes
sick.
at a professional level. If you
Yeah.
go back in hip hop, that goes back as far as like songs like, I don't know about this one specifically, but like Buddy by fucking De La Soul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people have been getting cut off records
Yeah.
for bare time.
Yeah.
Like who said they were just on fucking Give Up the Goods? Not Ali Vegas. Was it Ali Vegas? Someone recently was just saying they were on Give Up the Goods, but they're like, Illa G.
Yeah.
And he was locked up when the record came out, so when they did the studio version, he wasn't on it. But you know what I mean? People get cut off records for all
There's
kinds
all-
of shit.
all kind of
like,
reasons.
Yeah.
Core Mega got cut off enough records after the
Yeah.
firm
What's the
shit
name?
popped and Nature went in instead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
those are different circumstances.
the
but
different circumstance, but
yeah.
that shit happens all the time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I mean, like, you can be sour about it, but like, see, I don't know. We got to watch it all. We got to see that energy. We're almost ending, though, but I think there's different circumstances, and I think sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
people are sensitive on that.
Yeah.
But yo, everybody shout yourselves out.
Yo, Specs 1, 80s favorite babies all day.
CheZZa, Iceberg Society, shotclubpodcast.com.
Yeah, you already know. If you
You
don't,
done
fuck
know.
it. I don't even care no more.
Oh, the camera died, so I guess this is just
Yeah.
this is the only visual we got. And
It's
my
all
name
good.
is
Forgot?
Yeah, no.
I'm like Maxi Priest
The
to
original
punk
MGK.
music. They call me Maxi Pad.
The original
I
MGK.
bleed through the vocals of scratchy, depressed, heroin addicted white youth lyrics.
There you go again with heroin.
Yo, I'm about that life, eh? Yo, just give me the lights, I'll chase the dragon. Give it to me in a spiral. Yo, you know what we're saying? Toronto Talks, we out. Smoke that shit. Yo, and let's petition to get the Yo, Mike, what am I talking about? You know what
What's
I'm talking
that?
about. Let's petition right now to get a certain spot open. What are we talking about?
What's fine?
Your brothel.
Yeah,
yeah,
my
yeah,
brothel.
yeah.
Let's get that shit open. The sex doll brothel. Let's make that happen, man. Come on.
Dustin's back
If you got a
next week.
sex doll
bring it
brothel, you
back.
might not have incels anymore, you know? Let's get it.
Dustin back next week.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I think he lands.
But yo, you're welcome to come back anytime.
yeah.
You're like one of the perfect guests, yo, for real. Like,
Me
I was
and him go
actually
back
like,
and
when I
forth on
shouted
Facebook.
out,
Yeah.
he's like, yo, I don't think I can make it. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, who can I shout at? And I thought of like two people, and I'm like, one lives close, but I don't know about him as a guest. And I thought about the other. He's like, he lives kind of far away, but I don't know him as a guest. Then I scrolled Facebook for 1 second. Seen him post the fucking Vanilla Ice meme. The first share under it was CheZZa. I'm like, CheZZa is the perfect guest for this show.
For sure.
And I'm like, yo, what's the chance here in Toronto? And
Yeah.
yo, Lindsay
Got a
said
card.
pause. Yo, you pause. Yo, we out.
Ebro versus 6ix9ine.
But yeah, man, anytime you want to come back, I think you're a perfect guest for it. Even you as well. You fucking, you know, you're very, like, anyone who has in-depth conversation, you know what I mean? I just don't have, like, idiots up here. Last week, we kind of clowned. It was on
Well, it
my
was
end.
fun, yeah, it was
That was
fun.
on my end.
But that's still
I was
part
just
of it.
straight
That's
still
clowning.
the whole thing.
Funny, man. Shit was
It's
funny
not
as hell.
called